Yo, what's going on everybody? Xantos Vice here, and we are finally back with some more Punishing Gray Raven. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Yeah, let me apologize for not streaming the last couple days. I'll just be honest, things have just gotten all over the place that I honestly did not have any control over what I was supposed to be doing. Well, not too much, but basically I was going to try to stream on Wednesday, but I think that day I was just very tired or something. So then I just didn't do it. Then Thursday I had Wednesday I had an appointment. And then I had to do other stuff because we were already out forward, so didn't really have as much time to do anything. Thursday, my dad actually found an extra hard drive that he wasn't using anymore, and I asked if I could have it, so luckily, I now have a new hard drive that I can put for a lot of odds now, so hence what I spent the most of my day doing that day. And yesterday was the start of tax-free weekend, so I just went to the mall and just tried to see if there was anything I wanted to cop or not. So yeah, that's basically why I hadn't been really doing much. But anyway, we are back with Punishing Gray Raven. When we last left off, we had finished with the stuff happening in the present with Genevieve's story, which did end quickly or faster than I thought it would. But again, now we're kind of getting the lore as to why exactly that happened, and maybe it'll hint us a bit more about this concept of the Chosen One. It seems like it's potentially going to be something that's going to be followed up later, and I actually like that, because even though it's not a main story thing as a floating record, I think it's interesting how we'll bring these points back up again, especially like the level where it's group and whatnot. And as you can see, I finally got a Garivore and the Hyperreal, both the double S rank. Now, you guys are probably going to call me stupid and a noob, because I literally only just learned this. So, you know how there's this normal stuff with PPC, right? To get these skull fragment things. What's it called? Yeah, the Phantom Pain Scar, in order to ascend my ranks into like regular S or double S and triple S. Well, I figured, what happens if I press this? And lo and behold, this is what that extra stuff was for. This has all the boss battles from the Ultimate Zone, but these are like the easier ones. Whereas like, I choose like the ultimate difficulty, but these are the ones who are below that point. And this is where all these achievements here come from. And I was like, why is there so many if I'm not really like having as much chances to fight all of them if I'm choosing one or the other? This is how I do that. And I'm like, wow, I am so stupid. Like, I did not notice for the longest time. I literally just found out like 2 days ago. I'm like, what? I could have cleared some of this stuff so much sooner instead of having to wait day after day for this? Or I mean, week after week? But yeah, now I get everyone I need to double S. Well, for the most part. BRS, can't really do anything about. Lucia Plume, I mean, I'll think about it, but I'd much rather save it for later characters, since I already have 220 collected up after doing it for a lot of other characters, so that's kind of the state I'm in right now. But we're gonna finish this today. If there aren't really any battles to go through in this, and again, I'm assuming it's not, because this is just like stuff from the past, potentially, maybe I'll just do some extra random boss battles. Like from where it's like you test out the characters and stuff just to like fill the void, because otherwise it's like it's just too much of like me doing like a potential visual novel thing, even though I haven't done that yet. But I don't know, I feel like I should at least do some form of gameplay, you know? So here we go. Last we left off, we learned about this woman, Yui, I think it was, and that she's the one who Genevieve is modeled after by creating more samples and then genetically modifying them to the point of being able to be used as mechanoids, from my understanding. And we're seeing how kind of that all came to play. Nine Gestrig brings a dry, cold breeze that brushes against the face as leafy shadows sway in the wind. A sun-faced woman walks along a small path between flower beds. In front streetlights, the luminescent chrysanthemums provide enough light to illuminate our way. Offshoot cultivated from daisies named for their ethereal luminescence during their blooming period. continues walking forward when a snow-white lab coat comes into view. The young girl crouches in the center of the flower bed, gently turning the soil with her fingers. Dr. Saltame. Noticing the woman's approach, the girl in the lab coat rises and bows. Martha understands she's signaling for her to come no closer. Martha walks forward anyway, advancing all the way to the flower bed Yui's tending. How have things been going lately? I selected quality parent plants from the previous batch of luminescent chrysanthemums for cultivation. This batch is a noticeably brighter fluorescence, though some have withered, unfortunately. I checked the condition of the flower bed. The humidity is too low and the daytime sunlight is too intense. Has there been no rain in City 141 lately? You know that's not what I'm talking about. Horse has interfered with the Chosen One model. How did you find out? Like you, Herta was also a student of mine who I sent out into the world. I've heard that the Chosen One achieved remarkable ratings in tests 2 days ago, metrics showing unprecedented results. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call it the Matrix's most successful model to date. There should be a celebration banquet going on right now. It's too stuffy in there. Since Martha has no intention of leaving, Yui hesitates for a few seconds before crouching down again to carefully examine the soil at the base of the flower stems. But I've also heard something else as well. They've kept you confined in the laboratory, forcing you to undergo consciousness sampling more than 3 times a day. Our regular test subjects only experience it once every 3 days. They've added a low-temperature neurostabilizing solution to the chamber, which reduces the burn on neurons. Voice thin and calm, as if she were describing some trivial matter that doesn't concern her at all. Reduce the burden. So you can still personally adjust the parameters in code after experiments, even when your body and brain are already overloaded. The supervisor demands that the Chosen One model be transferred to other departments for collaborative optimization soon. We can't just let them take it away. Otherwise, it will just be scrapped again. The young woman lowers her gaze, fidgeting with the withered root of a fluorescent chrysanthemum. She crouches silently along the flower beds, her pupils reflecting endless numbness and emptiness. What about you? Have you thought about your condition? Martha's brow furrows deeply as she steps forward again. The edges of her cloak brush against the fluorescent chrysanthemums bordering the flower bed. The high-frequency pulse pressure is already causing emotional dysfunction, isn't it? If this continues, the next stage will be neural degeneration. Is that what you want? She remains silent. Moonlight falls upon her bloodless face, reminding Martha of loose, unbound pages fluttering on a desk. Pale, thin, easily slipping away at the slightest breeze. This was the impression her former student gave. When I found you in the ruins of Site 143, you barely reached my waist. Cracked bones, fractures, ruptured internal organs, festering wounds still bleeding, and somehow, miraculously, you were still clinging to life. Even after treatment, you'd struggle with all your might at the first sign of strength. Scream in terror, sometimes triggered by the smallest things. You caused me a lot of trouble back then, but despite everything, you seemed more human to me back then than you do now. Takes a deep breath, trying to relax her tense facial muscles, making an effort to soften her tone for her next words. Please stop working on a Matrix project, Yui. Her throat rasps dryly as she speaks. The words, blunt and simple, come out not as a command but as a plea. Not as a superior, not as a teacher. Simply because she can't bear watching a child she raised with her own hands continue such a cruel experiment, shoving away herself until nothing's left. I apologize, teacher. Same response as always. Response whose answer she knew before even asking the question, but it slowly exhales the stale air she'd been holding in her lungs. Didn't you want to stay at the academy and continue your research in botany before? I apologize, teacher. What exactly happened? What did you see during the first consciousness sampling experiment? Young woman falls silent again, continuing to work soil in the flower bed. The time here is limited, and she wants these luminous chrysanthemums to survive in this world a little longer. City 141 is now entering its dry season. The days are growing longer, but rainfall remains scarce. Martha casually removes her cloak she wears at night, tosses it beside the flower bed, and slowly steps into the small area glowing with phosphorescence. You cultivated these flowers with your own hands before. You should know them better than anyone, Yui. Excessive light and insufficient humidity actually make the flower stamens glow brighter. But they do that at the cost of their own lives. That brilliant glow is nothing but the final embers of their existence. You understand what I'm trying to say. I don't care. Voice blends with the floating dust and is carried away by the evening breeze. Martha doesn't quite catch what she says as she stands beside Yui, putting an arm around her to help her up from the ground. If you're willing, I can still find a way to have you transferred back to the academy where you can care for them in person and help extend their lives. Scope of company research isn't narrow. Although the academy's training system has always prioritized personnel needed for the Matrix plan, a world like ours, talented botanists are still in demand. That won't be necessary, Martha. I only come back occasionally to water them and loosen the soil. That's all. She closes her eyes. She knows Yui's personality well. Once she resolves herself, she never looks back. It's precisely because of this. What did you see during the first consciousness sampling experiment? That's not important. She stands up, clasping her hands together, palms caked with soil. She gazes at the flower bed for a long while, as if trying to etch the scenery firmly into her memory. The moment drags on until she lifts her gaze once more. I appreciate your kindness, teacher. But my current research is the only thing I want to do now. She turns to face Martha, her expression detached as usual. I should go now. Goodbye, teacher. Martha watches as the pale figure dissolves into the night, letting out a soft sigh. You really didn't care. Then why do you return to gesturing? Back to this garden. Why did I return to gesturing? Why didn't I return to this garden? I heard Martha's question, but she doesn't know how to answer it. The terminal on the lab bench ticks rhythmically, like the breathing of a slumbering beast. Ears have long grown accustomed to the dense cloud of white noise. Yui flips through the reports on the desk, but Martha's voice keeps echoing in her mind. She fully remembers her first visit to the Matrix facility. Back then, a younger Martha, already her teacher, slowly pushed a wheelchair as she guided Yui and other students to visit this area. They would serve the future. It was a space utterly unlike the surface world, incomparably pure and pristine. Steel and cables formed blood vessels and veins, connecting countless server racks and disk arrays. Researchers fed information and data into the Matrix, predetermined programs deriving predetermined results. Back then, she couldn't remember anything. She was inexplicably drawn to this place. Everything was so perfectly ordered. Mechanical commands executing without deviating from their predetermined paths, never pausing due to unexpected circumstances. Loops never terminate from exhaustion, and branches never jump to unexpected places because of human emotions. This is where I belong. That day forward, she set her research path on mechanical consciousness. Though later, under Martha's inspiration, she began studying botany. She never abandoned it. Herta. Her train of thought comes to an abrupt halt. Warm artificial light spills through the slowly opening doors. Herta walks into the not familiar laboratory. 3, no, 4 puffballs. One scrambles across the lab bench, never chases after, and the remaining 2 nestle in her arms. There's another one nestling against her leg. Good afternoon, Mr. Levy. How was your lunch? I finished. Tara remains characteristically indifferent as she sits with her back perfectly straight. Were not for the cat's nestle in her arms, she would appear very formal. Yet there's a small amount of tomatoes she has picked out of her meal. Here we go again. Whenever she has a moment to relax, she tells these transparently obvious lies. Mr. Levy, tomatoes are an important source of vitamins that promote cardiovascular health and aid in neuronal repair. Do you remember your ECG and ultrasound reports? These were specifically added to your nutritional meals to help you during intervals between experiments. Tomatoes can be consumed in different ways. Perhaps you'd prefer tomato soup? Instead of compromising to avoid the gooey tomato soup, you reluctantly use a sliced tomato. Her sighs relief, noticing that V is still rubbing against her feet. She picks V up. The test meeting earlier. Were there any results? As the test subject, Yui cannot participate in model testing meetings. Only Herder, who serves as the researcher's assistant, can attend them. I guess it makes sense because if you're the test subject and you go to the meeting yourself, you'll just force yourself to get results, right? But it's like you want it in the most natural state in order to make sure that human error isn't forcing you. Or it's not just one thing that will always be holding them back. It's like they'll always just produce failure unless you understand what the specific action was that changed it all. The researcher in charge of testing told me that the chosen one is already the most advanced model, but it didn't pass the stress test. This wasn't included in the previous regulations. Yes, it's a new test set they've added, simulating traumatic scenarios like war, disease, and bereavement to observe how the model reacts under extreme conditions. Why wasn't I told about this sooner? The supervisor deliberately kept this from us. I only just found out myself. Anyway, could this be the result of overfitting? The model demonstrates perfect rationality in many areas, but it's unable to produce normal responses to trauma or other stress-inducing tests. It lacks a personality like an empty shell without a soul. That was the test engineer's assessment. An empty shell. She lowers her head, expression unreadable. After a moment, she pulls out a report for the desk. Miss Herda, you majored in neurology and neurosurgery at Gistern, correct? Yes, that's right. Is there anything I can help with? Herda seems puzzled, apparently not expecting the sudden question about her time at Gestern. During the sampling process, is it possible to filter the subject's memories? Do you mean sampling only the personality without inputting memories as parameters? Yes. Technically, it's possible, but the Matrix doesn't seem to recommend this approach. Bypassing hippocampal neural signals puts the model at risk of memory disorders. Without memories of developing the consciousness, the model's intelligence and social awareness would regress to infantile levels. Under those conditions, the time investment required to train the model to maturity would be immeasurable. It might also damage the subject's neural system. Let me see this. If I'm putting memories. I guess this is kind of similar to what happens with Genevieve at times when she shuts down, right? Because she always just kind of has to go back to it, but it's at some point she even says she wouldn't remember absolutely everything. Probably because it's doing a lot to them psychologically. The time investment isn't an issue. Let's proceed with this approach. Sorry, drink some water. Experimental plan progresses smoothly. For long, the new model is ready for sampling. It wraps herself in a heavy isolation suit, squeezes into the experimental chamber, and signals to her that she's ready. Mr. Levy, before we begin sampling, may I ask you one more question? Silence indicates permission to continue. Why would you want to filter your own memories? Why? I suppose because inside the experimental chamber, the harsh lights sear her retinas. Human memories don't conform to the laws of model growth. They might even restrict its development. If we eliminate all factors originating from memories, we might reduce the noise interference in the samples. I see. His contemplative voice comes through faintly from outside the chamber. Is it really just because of that? Well then, we're ready to begin. Is it just to reduce the noise interference in the sample? Or does she want this child when it's born to be spared from all her pain? Is it just to continue advancing the experiment? Does she want to see what kind of person a child who grows up in such a dream would become? She cannot answer her own questions. Preparation is complete. During the filtering process, you'll need to quickly browse through your memories. You may re-experience certain past events in your mind. This process may cause severe nerve pain, though I've reminded you countless times already, I still have to say it. Please begin. With a continuous drizzle, children frolic together in a playful hurdle. Standing at the edge of the pool, muster my courage. Sharp pain shoots from Yuri's ankle to her brain. Before she can regain balance, her body plunges into the muddy water. It hurts so much. Yuri's friend Sophie frantically pulls her out of the puddle. Puddle jumping, the quintessential game for children on rainy days. With the bruise on her knees and injured ankle, her left foot jumps, skips a beat and trips, sending her whole body splashing into the puddle. As she speaks, she helps wipe the mud from my legs with her handkerchief. The moisture evaporates from my skin, making me shiver involuntarily. Sophie speaks. She helps wipe the mud from Yuri's leg with her handkerchief. Oh wait, no, this is the same thing. Sophie rushes over to the man, taking quick, eager steps. Joyful energy almost dispels the gloom of the rainy day. The man breaks out into a hearty laugh as tiny Sophie, now perched on his shoulders, lets out delighted squeals of joy. Something stirs in Yuri's heart. Sophie answers with a proud grin. Yuri's gaze falls on the scarf around the man's neck. So this is why Sophie has been working so hard in handicraft class all this time. To make a scarf for her father? Although the scarf is rather shabby, it's Sophie's most treasured possession, which means if Yuri gave her most precious thing to her father, do you say the magic words? The ones that make people happy? If I say the magic words, will I receive my father's love just like Sophie does? The intricate statues and ornate patterns adorning the corners of a crumbling building reveal its once magnificent splendor. Long ago, this estate was renowned for its wine production, with amber wine flowing from its cellars throughout the Golden Age, making the Levy family known worldwide for their exquisite vintages. Those were the family's most prosperous days. And after that, Yuri navigates around a household robot that has been damaged beyond repair that stops before a large door covered in wine stains and dents. After the breakout of the punishing virus, this winery's remote locations spared a major corrupt invasions. Wine became even more of a luxury in the New World. A winery no longer needed by the world was naturally abandoned by it. Just like the awkward name Yuri Levy itself, it seems Yuri was destined to be for a fractured fate from the moment of her birth. Mother, an Eastern woman who married old man de Levy and gave birth to her, wanted to leave when the winery fell into decline. She went to a place very, very far away, all the adults would say. As from inside the room, pulls Yuri from her thoughts, stops in her tracks. Father, is he smashing wine glasses again? There it is again, solitary sound. His wine bottle hitting the table. Wine bottles, picture frames, they no longer sound. Must be sweeping everything off the table. The old wounds in her legs became to throb or phantom pain, even though she's not the one being shattered. Her body freezes in place, so cold, trembling, teeth chattering uncontrollably until her gums ache. Throbbing pain in her legs is an ill omen of what's about to happen. She can't take another step. Can't force herself to go any further. Why? Should that person in the room be the closest one to her in this world? That's right. Today's Father's Day. This holiday somehow made even Sophie's dad, who's busy going to town, travel miles and miles just to be with her. It's a magical day. A day when miracles can happen. Surely a miracle will happen with her father too. She just says the magic words. Maybe he'll be like Sophie's dad. Playfully rub his stubble against her face, or perhaps even pick her up with joy. She must give him a gift. She wants a miracle. She wants to receive her father's love just like Sophie does. Timidly, gingerly, she could push open the door. Space's room is unnaturally quiet. Steps forward cautiously, small glittering twinkles catching her eye. Shards. Two shards covering the floor. All kinds. Wine bottles, mirrors, ceramic plates, glass photo frames. She lifts her gaze. The man she recognized out of the revolvers sits slumped against the wall amid the shards, his eyes half open. Father slowly rises and walks toward her, his tall silhouette blocking the overhead light engulfing her entire field of vision. There was her head standing at a filthy carpet and wine-stained leather shoes. Her legs won't stop trembling. His tongue grows increasingly displeased as his shadow looms closer. Opens her mouth, but no sound comes out. This isn't right. It's Father's Day. She shouldn't be afraid of her father. Something more important. So hard to let go. It's like a friend who's grown up with her. Been with her longer than her father ever was. But today's Father's Day. Shouldn't be selfish like she's been before. If only this could really make her father happier. He's angry? But why? Must be some misunderstanding. He needs to explain properly. Body spins before crashing to the floor. Burning pain spreads across her face. Sound of fabric being shredded like worthless scrap paper. Plus she joins the shattered glass scattered across the floor and reduced to worthless shreds. Harvey's expression darkens to a level she's never seen before. His faint hands begin frantically grabbing anything within reach, smashing each object to the floor with terrible force. Everything shatters. Wine bottles, purple red stains, corks, mirrors, ceramic plates, glass photo frames. Her body's no exception. Like holding over trash, she's wrenched into the air, then violently slammed down. Everything's breaking apart. Everything. Nothing can ever be pieced back together again. Damn. Someone to rely on. A long blast from a ship's horn echoes through the air. Silhouettes from my path crowding in one after another. Clever voices echoes in my ears, weighing on my frayed nerves. So frightening. I want to run away, but where can I even go? Father had another manic episode, especially almost all the furniture in our home before throwing me out into the street. Whose brat is this? Stop pushing me out of the way for tickets. Oh, bastard. The corrupted come, you'll be the first one they snatch. Angry shouts rise up from the crowd behind me. Tears of fear threaten to spill from my eyes. As should the crowds clutching the note, just kindly written for me by a former butler. Too afraid to meet the adult size, but I force myself to study their faces. Quicken my pace. Faster. Faster. I have to find her. Mother, is she here? Does she even recognize me? What expression will she have when she sees me? Will she gently scoop me up into her arms and give me another cute plushie like before? Or will she be cold like a stranger, cursing me like those refugees just now? Or even throw me aside violently like that man who I called father? I want to imagine her expression, but I don't know what expression to expect. My eyes sting with anxiety and fear. Squeeze past person after person. Each time I reach someone, I secretly compare their face to the photograph in my hand. Not this one either. Finally suddenly knocked to the ground by someone in the crowd. Chaotic crowd surges forward, blocking all the sunlight from view. One by one, pitch-black figures loom toward me. Scramble to my feet in panic, only for my small fair body to be knocked down again by someone passing behind me. Gentle call. A short, soft syllable. In this world, only one person will call me by that name. Another call. This woman in the research coat bends down among the fleeting crowd, straining my weary eyes, carefully comparing what I see to a well-preserved photograph. Then shadow blocks the dim light, making it impossible to see the woman's expression. After a moment, a pair of silently cold hands gently touches her forehead. Tears erupt as a hoarse, desperate wail rises from my throat. Why? Why'd you leave me behind? Why'd you abandon me in that house? Why is Dad always so cold? Why is he always shrinking? Why did Dad hate the doll you left behind when I gave it to him? Why did he get so angry that he threw me out of the house? You've grown so much. Gentle pat on my back and her tender touch helped the exhaustion of my long journey gradually fade from my limbs. It's okay now. Everything's okay. It's all okay now. As long as I say a mother's embrace, all the pain will fade away. The warm, steady heartbeat by your ear acts like a lullaby guiding you toward dreamland. Just one. That's all. Won't take much time. With the exception, below passenger. It stopped them. Can you make another exception? Mission rules. 1, I think. Perfectly clear. Awakened by muffled voices. Whoever seems to be talking with someone. Upon waking, I immediately grabbed tightly onto the hem of her clothes again. Then it's settled. We have a deal. I'm gazing out in the porthole. For a moment, she kneels down and gently pries my fingers for the hem of her clothes. Yuri, take your things away from you below deck. Mom still has some luggage to pack. Once I finish packing up, I'll come find you right away. I don't want to leave her. It's so hard to find her. I don't want to leave her side. But she looks a bit unhappy. My experience with Dad, adults become happy when I follow the instructions. Following my mom's instructions, I pick up some of the luggage and head back to the port. Mom comes down. Where will she take me? I hadn't had cake in such a long time. I ordered a huge cake with the sweetest cream. Of course, Mom gets the first bite, and to reward her for finally finding me after all these years. From now on, as long as we're together. The ship's horn plays loudly. People who want to spend their last penny on a ticket are already queued for the afterlife. No stand a chance. Damn it! I feel like I could be like that woman just now and bring a kid to play the sympathy card. Might be able to buy a ticket with just a little extra cash. Ship is leaving? What are you talking about? Huh? Weren't you the kid from just now? Why didn't that woman take you aboard? Because she told me to wait here for her. She's coming back down any minute now. Wait for her? Didn't you hear the ship's whistle? That ship is about to leave. You're lying. She permits a dull, heavy groan as the gangway slowly lifts away from the dock. He reaches after the departing ship in desperation, leaving a suitcase tumbling on the ground behind her, forgotten in her panic. She's supposed to come to the port to pick me up. She must not have made it in time. Please wait for her. The ship is taking Mom away. Stop yelling, kid. Don't tell me you haven't figured it out. Having a child makes it easier to win sympathy for those self-righteous hypocrites on the ship. That woman just used you as a stepping stone to get herself on board. It's impossible. She's my mom. So she can't abandon me again. It's impossible. Your mom? So what? In this world, the only thing that matters is your own survival. Who cares about moms, dads, and all that sentimental garbage? Everyone's struggling just to survive the punishing virus. At a time like this, who can afford to care for a child? It's not possible. It can't be true. Mom finally found me after so long. She'd leave me alone again. You think you're precious or something? She can just make another one. It's not true. It's not like that. I feel like my fragile heart is crushed in someone's grip. Gasp for air and desperate gulps as dizziness from prolonged hunger washes over me. I lapse suddenly, then struggles back to my feet. I must not have had time to come down. The woman she called Mom stands on the ship's deck, gazing distantly toward the harbor. Humans can only move forward by discarding what is unnecessary. That's the smart choice. Someday you'll face the same situation I did, and then you'll surely understand me. Please don't blame me, Yuri. Damn, what a bitch. Oh, really? So what, did she pretend that she was the butler to write it down? Like that note so then she can get the pass? Anyway, how's they even playing the sympathy card anyway? Because it's if she even cheated, I'm surprised the people at the ship actually accepted it. Oh my god, Mom stays away with the ship growing smaller, becoming a mere dot before vanishing into the heart of the deep blue sea. The retreating figure of the woman drains all the strength from my body, up to my knees like a puppet with its strings cut. Hydrated is starving, her vision repeatedly darkens. Her consciousness remains unexpectedly clear. Why did you acknowledge me? Why show the same tenderness as when I was little, only to abandon me again in the end? Unnecessary things. So, am Am I an unnecessary thing? Just like an empty wine bottle, dirty velvet curtains, a shattered mirror. Everything rushes out of view as the surging sea of people blurs into light and shadow before my eyes. Kids, stop kneeling. Your mom's not coming back no matter how long you wait. Hurry up and run. The corrupted are coming. You came here without knowing anything? Why do you think everyone traveled so far to line up for those ships? Or evacuation vessels? The corrupted are coming. Ships have already left. So why aren't you running? You want to die? Shoots her one last fierce glare before suddenly bolting away. First a scream, two more, then three, till they merge into a chorus of terror. Too short to see anything. Only the cries reach my ears. Crowd suddenly reverses and surges back toward me. People push and shove, trampling anyone who falls. Some poor souls don't even have the time to scream. If the corrupted reach them, they're already trampled to death by their own people. Can't stay kneeling here or I'll be trampled to death. But to run. People are everywhere. Where can I go? The boy pushes up a manhole cover from below and heaves himself up. The opening isn't usually narrow. Only a child can squeeze through. The boy's flashlight has a feeble glow, illuminating thin, gaunt faces one by one. More children. Newbie, you really lucked out. Follow this tunnel all the way to the end and you'll bypass that wave of corrupted. What about you guys? How come you're here? To make sure people who come down here don't get lost. It's the biggest underground maze in City 143. When do you accidentally wander into an area where the corrupted are? Their covered little ones excitedly crowd around a newcomer. Filthy. So filthy. Covered in sewer sludge. Despite the dirt, they feel warm. Warmer than the man called father and the woman called mother. Your mom and dad not want you anymore either. It's okay. We've all been left behind. Come stay with us. Yeah, we're all unwanted. Come and stay with us. But there were still lots of people in danger. You'd save many, many more people. People just like you. And then, we'll all become a new family together. We're brothers and sisters. We can survive even without adults. Is that really possible? Of course. That's how all of us have survived until now. Girl moves her coarse cloak, drapes over my shoulders. The boy hands me his flashlight to light my way through the tunnels. We're here. This is it. Just climb up from here, and you'll be able to bypass the corrupted. Newbie, you go up first. It's safer up there. I'll cover your back. Okay. Sound of water dripping. Hollow echoes in the tunnel as my worn leather shoe pad. Shoes pad softly through the sewer. Side ahead. That must be the exit, right? Grab the rust-covered ladder and kick upward with my feet. Hollow metal pipes creak ominously. It's fine. Almost there. Almost there. Upper body emerges from the opening. Something sharp pierces my calf. Corrupted hanging on the ladder suddenly grabs me. Fingers digging deep into my flesh. I scream for help as I stumble back in the direction I came. I told you this path was no good. We needed some sucker to test it out first. Now we know. Come on, let's find someone to test the next round. Each other's cold laughter drifts from nearby. Why? Did we promise to become a new family? Who can I call for? Dad? Mom? Just so-called brothers and sisters from just now? There's no one. But I have to survive. No matter what. Blood trickles from my lower lip, clenched between my teeth as my right hand frantically searches for anything I can grab. Got a sharp stone. Suddenly every ounce of strength left in my body, I desperately clutched the stone, and then smash it downward in a frenzy. One strike, two, three. His leg tears open, flesh exposed. cold mechanical hand shows signs of loosening its grip. As I sigh with relief, it savagely clamps down my ankle again. My leg now mangled, bloody mess, the mechanical hand fails to grab me again and slips away. In a pitiful state, I drag myself out of the sewer using only my upper body. Everything's broken. Everything's falling apart. Dad, Mom, friends. All those emotional relationships are nothing but lies. No one can be trusted. Never again can anyone be trusted. Taking my nails deep into my palm, sharp pain shoots through my nerves. So I could stay conscious, but darkness eventually claims me. From now on, the only person I can depend on is myself. You need to love me. Damn. That's just cruel. I mean, I get it. It's like survival. It's like anyone wants to survive no matter what. But it's just cruel seeing it from this side. I'm not saying if it's like I would never do that or anything. Because again, it's like you don't know all that adrenaline, the heat of the moment and stuff. It can a lot of things can affect you. So. But it's still a cruel thing to see that it's like humanity has the potential to be like that in the worst of times. But then again, I am just looking at a fictional piece of work. It's not like I'm actually seeing stuff that's actually happening in real life. But it's like I can still imagine it's like the possibility would still exist. Because all people are born different. And it's rapidly sucked away, sending waves of suffocating pain through Yuri's mind. Yuri's consciousness rapidly resurfaces. She gasps, each breath painful to her eardrums, nearly breaking. Chest heaves violently as she struggles to breathe, sucking all the air around her into a vacuum of agony. Sensation returns as the ice-cold neurostabilizing solution sends sharp pain spreading from her body to her brain. The cabin walls pressing close, imprisoning Yui, as if she's a soulless shell in a coffin. As the transparent glass cover slowly opens, an anxious woman's face, strange yet somehow similar, appears on the other side. Thank goodness you're alright. It's Herda. She salvages thin shards from the murky depths of her memory, vaguely recalling who this person is. The sampling was set for 7 hours and 25 minutes. That's far too risky. If you continue like this, your neural system will suffer irreversible damage. It says the instruments monitoring Yuri's vital signs for disapproval. I'm fine. Where's the capsule? Suppressing stiff confident when Yuri turns her head to search for the mechanical consciousness model capsule. Next to the instruments on one side, an oval cylinder about the size of a forearm, lies quietly. Prototype models generated after each sampling session are stored in this capsule. It's over there. Huh? Cats gather around the capsule, examining it curiously as if they noticed something. Herda, puzzled, tries to pick up the capsule, but after taking just 2 steps, she hears about the thud behind her. Mr. Levy? Sometime later in the laboratory, Yuri gradually regains consciousness while leaning against the experiment chamber. Artificial warm light bathes the entire room. I completed the examination. The prolonged sampling time caused temporary paralysis in your nervous system. But we can't extend a sampling period like this again. You'll need to rest for a while at the very least. Yes. Yes. Flips through the machine transmitted reports with a non-committal expression, gesturing for her to bring her the capsule. Are there any abnormalities in the model data? No. Everything is within the parameters you predicted. This capsule, just like all the previous ones, is quietly in her arms. Model status normal, data normal, connecting the output port to the laboratory's matrix interface. Huh? Is there a problem with the lighting system? She slowly strokes the capsule's outer shell again. That shouldn't be happening. The laboratory's lights are controlled by the matrix, aren't they? Could there be a problem with the matrix itself? It's not the lighting system. lights continues to flicker like a newborn baby blinking and smiling. Could it be that the lighting system is responding to the model's status? But you haven't issued any commands yet, nor have you set up any simulation measures. Why would it want to control the light source? Tingling sensation spreads from the crook of her arm as her limbs begin to weaken. There is no choice but to set the capsule down for a moment. Things return to normal. Starting to flicker again. Suddenly records the frequency and amplitude of the light's variations. Sine waves, cosine waves, square waves, triangle waves. Not this one, not that one either. The pattern of light variation doesn't match any periodic function she's familiar with. Almost as if she's just playing with the lights. Someone's calling her Yui, the name only the person she called Mother ever used. Mr. Levy, is everything alright? I called you twice with no response. You're scaring me. Someone is calling my name. You must be exhausted. Let me take you somewhere to rest. She turns around, about to take the capsule. It's a call composed of infantile babbling, possibly childlike. Yuri understands exactly what it means. She lowers herself to the ground. The strength to lift it is the only way she can get close to it. Herda, has the testing platform not disconnected the remote connection between me and the model yet? Yes, it was still buffering earlier. Shutting it down abruptly might increase the load on your neurons, but it should be safe now. I'll go turn it off. No need. Not right now. It's calling to me. This model is. It's calling you. But the Chosen One models have never exhibited this kind of behavior before. The Chosen Ones have never developed autonomous consciousness before. The Chosen One models are extremely complex. Each one presents different practical issues. For a practical application, we can only use the dropout method to clear the data, simplify the neural network structure, try to improve the model's generalization capabilities. This also results in neural units in the model's hidden layers being removed, turning the model into a stable hollow shell without any autonomous consciousness. They continue to flicker slowly. Could it be a new variable that emerged after filtering the memory data? It helps Yui to her feet, takes the capsule from her arms and sets it aside. Lights immediately return to normal. Anyway, let's give it a name first, Mr. Levy. Name. Exhausted brain almost completely shut down. 2, 3, 4, 5. What is she counting? His gaze falls on several fuzzy balls. Suddenly she understands. Let's just call it V, or 6. Lights suddenly dim, as if expression their displeasure. That's way too casual. Too casual. Then, let's call it V. It's literally the same thing with just a different pronunciation. Lights brighten slightly, suggesting a grudging acceptance at best. Let's proceed with the model verification procedure, Herda. You need to rest first. Before she can finish, a faint electronic beep of an access authorization sounds from outside the door. Well, it looks like my timing was impeccable, doesn't it? The new model is running smoothly, correct? Motion with his chin for the two researchers behind him to enter as well. This is just the initial sample. It still needs to go through further verification. There's no need. Push Herda aside, who stands in front of Yui, and reach for the capsule placed to the side. No. Despite fatigue, Yui's body bursts with unexpected strength as she quickly grabs the capsule, clutching it tightly. There's never been a precedent for handing over a model to another department immediately after sampling. It's not up to you to decide the rules around here. Horse signals to the researchers to seize the capsule Yui's protecting. As they examine the data on the terminal, he wears a satisfied expression. In case you've forgotten, today is the day the executive officer is visiting. Didn't I already tell you about this? At a complex research work, they've long since forgotten Horst's occasional haughty commands. All research results must be verified in advance to prepare for the executive officer's visit. This is essential if we wanted to continue investing in this matrix. If even one thing impresses him, we'll consider it a victory. No, I was just trying my luck. It seems I've hit the jackpot today. Yui, you've brought us a golden egg, haven't you? Says to see his capsule with a satisfied smirk. The moment it leaves Yui's body, the room's brightness suddenly shifts. A change that doesn't escape his keen eyes. I see. It's her past, formed as a consciousness. His body suddenly trembles. No, it's still just a prototype model. She struggles to her feet and tries to retrieve the capsule, only to be violently shoved aside by the researcher. Don't worry, this is enough. I forgive your slow progress. He snaps shut as Horst starts away with the capsule, radiating smug satisfaction. Under the warm-hued lights, Yui writes equations, rapidly, ceaselessly. Numerical matrices, partial differential equations, convolution. As a neurosurgeon, Herta can only understand a portion of what Yui's writing. The rest ventures into territories completely unfamiliar to her. Mr. Levy. She doesn't understand exactly what Yui is calculating. She can tell that many of these complex equations can be solved by a computer terminal without any manual calculation. On the other hand, perhaps that is her intention. Or maybe she's not writing these equations purely to solve problems. The erasable ink pen scratches across the laboratory from the floor up to the walls to the workbench. Herta suddenly remembers that when she first met the Levy, the laboratory was already covered in equations. What should we do next? Nothing we can do. 2 bodyguards with horse are 1.5 times my height, and are trained in martial arts. Where we attempt a sneak attack or a direct confrontation, the combined probability of success won't exceed 10 to the negative 30th power. So there's still a chance of success. That's the combined matrix failure probability. Even with those odds, we'd have to assume they'd prioritize horse safety over protecting the capsule, if there's any chance of retrieving it. You've thought it through so clearly. So you were also thinking of, precisely because I don't want to waste time on this. Miss Herta, no rational person would attempt anything with a probability to the order of 10 to the negative dozens. Aren't you a researcher? You know V better than anyone in the Matrix. Couldn't you use that to your advantage when negotiating with them? Today is the day the executive officer is visiting, so Horst wouldn't do anything to disappoint him. Horst was always willing to take the V capsule right in front of me. He'd be even less likely to return in the executive officer's presence. He's been obsessively waiting for this day, just so he can pass the inspection and gain access to the computing power of another matrix. When it comes down to it, it's nothing more than a model anyway. Seems to have calmed down and stopping writing equations and moving to the lab bench to brew some coffee. It's just a creation after all. If it's lost, we can simply make another one. Mechanoids and AI exist to serve humans in the first place. Now they have fulfilled their intended purpose. A single matrix has insufficient computing power. That's why I constantly need to sample and optimize, because the hardware can never keep up. But with access to ample computing resources, future research will proceed much more smoothly. If that model can satisfy the higher-ups and lead to an expansion of the Matrix's computing power, I have no reason to stop them. That's right, it's just a model, nothing special, just an ordinary experimental product. Hasn't even gone through multiple sampling iterations like the chosen ones. It's merely a random product of a single sampling, not worth the blood, sweat, and tears someone put into it. Using it to secure future promotion opportunities? Isn't that a pretty good deal? On the other hand, why should I sacrifice my career prospects for the sake of a mere creation? Something still feels off about this whole situation. You already understand all that perfectly well. You voiced them out loud not to convince me, but yourself. Am I right, Mr. Levy? That's exactly right. To her surprise, he re-answers with complete frankness, casually taking a small sip. It's Leatherwood's espresso, so bitter that a single taste would make most people shudder. Yuri drinks it without the slightest change in her expression. Humans are emotional creatures, but emotional thinking rarely helps us achieve our goals. Instead, it often leads us one step closer to the abyss. Said to remind herself to stay clear-headed. She takes another sip of her coffee. I cannot make the same mistake again. From the day I entered the Matrix, my fate has been bound to it, both my lighthouse and my prison. I'm in prison here, yet this place is also my reason for existing. Picks up an eraser and methodically wipes away the equations from the floor one by one. The room's lights start flickering rapidly again, as if someone were continuously flipping the switch. The sound of wind suddenly intensifies, wailing and keening like a baby's shrill cry. Haven't they disconnected the output devices from the capsule? It's V. It's calling for help. She doesn't stop erasing the equations. Instead, her movements grow increasingly frantic. They're running stress simulation tests now. Is that really okay? They're simulating traumatic scenarios like warfare, disease, and bereavement. Those are extremely painful experiences. Calm down. Even if we went there, we couldn't change anything. Just like back then, give away my favorite doll and recklessly search you for mother. What did I change in the end? Didn't everything just fall apart? My initial assessment wasn't wrong. Everything would have been in vain, maybe even counterproductive. Staying here was the right choice, but the pen tip glides across the paper as calculations fill her mind. I should still stay here after all. Everything in the laboratory begins to shake. Strange. Why would the output device allow proper levels to reach this magnitude? I'm afraid it was authorized by the executive officer. Something's breaking. Something's breaking. Sound of a coffee cup shattering. Dull thud like a wine bottle followed by liquid spilling. It's Miss Herder's potion vial. Now is the cooling container, the pen holder, the glass covers of the artificial lights. It's all breaking. Just like that time. She can't stand still any longer. That child is smashing everything. Damn. I think after this I'll try to find a boss or something. Physical core of the Matrix. Though it references the Gestalt's core architecture, everyone understands that what stands before them is merely a sub-terminal of the Gestalt, incapable of functioning with the same capacity as the original. The researchers standing here today are the very pioneers working to interconnect the matrices, forming a larger computing power network capable of surpassing the Gestalt. Or perhaps they're merely tools. Sir Executive, these are all the Matrix models that we currently have. He nods in a comically exaggerated manner, bowing forward at a precise 45-degree angle, not daring to raise his head. If anyone were standing beneath him, they would certainly witness his remarkably complex expression. Pictures smugness, reverence, and malice all at once. Ah, so that's this guy. Before he could finish speaking, the seemingly elder executive officer in front of him suddenly erupts into uproarious laughter. Despite the bellowing fans rattling everyone's ears, the executive's piercing cackle cuts through, making everyone within earshot visibly uncomfortable. Mr. Gwynplaine, May I ask? Alright. Horst, I sincerely hope my laughter hasn't made any of you uncomfortable. No, how could we possibly? After all, this quirk has followed me into old age. I tend to break into laughter for no apparent reason. Horst maintains a respectful head-lowered position or posture. Only had to confirm from the corner of his eye that the executive officer stopped laughing as he continues or cautiously speak again. The company entrusted you with the mission to inspect Sector 141. Make you someone we owe big thanks to. We'd appreciate it if you could take a close look at our experimental progress this time. At the word, we'd like to request your help in applying for more computing power. With additional computing power, those of us conducting research would have a bit more stability. Leverwood still has quite a few idle matrices. Connecting you to other sub-terminals would be no more than a trivial effort. Then, if you would consider. But, even a single matrix already possesses computing power beyond your reach. After using so many resources without producing anything worthwhile in return. That simply won't do. Yes. You're absolutely right. I'm already an old man, but Leverwood's company is still in its prime. This old man might turn a blind eye, but the other executives, unlike me, won't tolerate such mediocrity. Yes, I understand. Well then, do any of these subjects catch your eye as promising? The Chosen One and V. Those are their names, correct? You two, place the Chosen One V capsules into the central core and prepare for simulation testing. But V just hatched. The stimulation testing might have negative effects on this model. Stop wasting time. Just do as you're told. Stirring your colleague who wanted to say more, the researcher staying to the side retrieves the Chosen One V capsules before Horst loses his temper. The massive central core emits a cold mechanical rumble as it swallows both capsules. Wait, what's wrong with the lighting system? Go check if there's an issue with the central controls. Let's go out for just a moment, then rapidly come back on, followed by high-frequency flickering. Bob's Blair's piercing sirens wailed throughout the entire laboratory. Director, is the Matrix going haywire? Haywire my ass! It's because that capsule is still connected to the output device. Disconnect it now! Sudden disconnection will cause model overload. V's trauma response is too intense. The simulated pain signals exceed the critical threshold. Alright, everyone, calm down. Under everyone's bewildered stares against the walls, leads to the piercing sound of the alarms. They begin spinning, the aged spherical figure performs this grotesque choreography under the pulsing lights, creating a disturbing tableau against the massive matrix cordon. Even Horst can hear the unbridled joy in that laughter. Pleasure derived from the model's pain. Eyes grow more piercing. Yeah, and with them rises Horst's excitement, really making him jump for joy. Seems the fat aging executive is pleased with everything. As long as the inspection passes, acquiring computing power for the other agencies will be a done deal. Director, we need to pause the test. The model hasn't been debugged before undergoing simulation testing. There's a significant risk of data contamination. Horst ignores the researcher's warning, instead focusing his gaze at the bizarre executive. Takes the prince about to the sound of the alarm, laughing maniacally with each step. Our priority now is keeping the executive satisfied. As for these models, we have plenty more where that came from. If one breaks down, we'll just use another. This is our only chance to secure that computing power. But that V model, we can only describe it as a miracle. It's an irreplaceable experimental specimen. Not something we can just discard and replace. Mind your own business. Just keep your eyes on the data and do your job. Alright, yeah, because he doesn't know what the origins come from. Because, yeah, it's like, they wouldn't be able to make another one like that. Roger. 23.32%, 19.45%, 13.21%. It's not going to make it. The sensitivity is dropping rapidly. Sensitivity measures the model's response intensity to trauma. The more stable the model, the stronger its reaction to stimuli. Conversely, it becomes weaker and unstable. In other words, these readings reflect the model's vitality. Old man still hasn't stopped. This continues. There's a concern about the model being discarded. Well, like whoever the executive could finish his damn walls before it failed. Otherwise, the chance of passing the inspection would be slim. The alarm grows increasingly faint. The model's on the verge of collapse. Have the Matrix reduced the pulse amplitude? Oh? With a questioning glance from the executive, Horse blocks the researcher from touching the controls. What do we do now? 10%. 10%. The readings have stabilized. It's one with dramatic stabilization, as evidenced by the graph line that had been plummeting before suddenly leveling off. Pulse appears to have been intercepted by something. What's happening? The Chosen One signal waveform detected. The Chosen One? That model that has never responded to any stimulation tests? The Chosen One intercepted the pulse meant for V. As a consequence, the Chosen One's sensitivity is starting to drop. 95.31%, 87.28%, 80.05%. You're just full of surprises today, aren't you, Horst? The only man finally stops his comical gestures, turning toward them with newfound interest. As you wish, sir. Now, about that inspection matter. There's just one more item left, right? The stress test. Yes. The final test is to make the model experience death. Researchers all gulp, one after another. Oh shit, yeah, because that could mean they could lose it forever, or if it can somehow survive it, it'd be a great success, but it's an all or nothing gamble. It's not the word itself that frightens them, but the fact that both models are already operating beyond capacity. The pulse increased by another level, this will no longer be just a test. The models will face death in the truest sense. Oh yeah, because now the Chosen One's responding, and it's lowering, so it's like if you go down, I'll go down with you, kind of thing. Or like a soul link, kind of. Do as he says. Grits his teeth. Between a potential miracle and the limits of their computing power, he chooses the latter. Applying Horse's signal, the researcher studies the trembling finger, reaches out to press the button to initiate the final test. DeLevy, you shouldn't be here. Take Mr. Levy back to rest. She's too tired today. As they're already prepared for her arrival, Horse calmly signals the two guards beside him to step forward. DeLevy? Is that Yui DeLevy? No need to get so worked up, Horst. If I remember correctly, Mr. Levy is the developer of the Chosen One in V, isn't she? Why not let the developer share some of her own insights? But, sir, that woman has always been biased against model testing. We allow her to interfere with the experiment. And your anticipated Danse Macabre be ruined then? And when Horst remarks, he rebreathing heavily, bows quickly to the researchers and Grimplay. Thank you for your open-mindedness, sir. I'll get straight to the point. She begins speaking slowly, don't calm and composed, but her peripheral vision remains fixed on the sensitivity curves displayed on the large screen. Me, 9.23%. Chosen One, 43.59%. Both still rapidly decreasing. Can you understand why the Chosen One, who has consistently shown no response to testing, suddenly began reacting today? Or why V's data stabilized around 10%? But her intuition tells her that if these two capsules aren't extracted from the central system soon, they will face true death. Sir, V was just generated an hour ago from samples of my consciousness, with none of its parameters having undergone calibration. It's still a prototype. Although the Chosen One has undergone some preparation, it still hasn't had enough time for further iterations. Forcing a test under these conditions carries an 84.23% chance of data contamination. If the contamination occurs, all data from both models will become unusable. DeLevy! Horst barks a command from afar. These two models may have been developed by you, but they are in fact company property. Don't let your personal research ambitions interfere with the normal progress of this experiment. Chosen One, 23.52%. Me, 8.45%. Irrepressible anxiety wells up. Despite her anxiety, her mind as a researcher remains remarkably clear. Mr. Horst is correct. These two models do indeed belong to the company and are quite valuable. For that very reason, giving them room to develop would be far more valuable to the company than hastily discarding them in a rushed experiment. In the previous test, you should have already witnessed how they display normal fear responses to painful stimuli, sir. I believe that confirming this fact has already served the purpose of the experiment. However, prolonged exposure to such extreme conditions would damage the models, especially these two newly created ones. Speaking solely as a researcher, I respectfully request that you pause this experiment, sir. Given sufficient time, I can deliver more complete results.
Ripley strokes his beard. His face is concealed beneath that tall brim hat of his, especially in the shadow.
Madam, are you aware that your presence has interrupted our enjoyment?
Your sinister voice makes Horse's hair stand. So he stammered.
Sir, you need not heed our opinion. We can just continue the experiment right now.
Ripley raised his hand, signaling for him to be silent.
Death is a proposition every individual must face. They cannot respond appropriately to such extreme situations. How could humans possibly trust such models?
He's calling her. His voice is unbearably weak. Her heart clutches involuntarily. It's a voice only she can hear. The capsule still hasn't severed its remote consciousness connection to her. Her mind races.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Judging by the reactions from the external output devices, the flickering lights, triggered alarms, these two models only responded with fear to the pain stimuli, correct?
Ship whistles, water droplets in sewers.
Ah. But humans survive in dangerous situations not only because of fear, but also because of the courage that springs forth from it.
Cold touch of a corrupted hand, the pain shooting through her calf. Whoa. Hint of interest makes this physically good.
Yes, courage. These two models have just been created and are still in their infancy. When facing danger, they can only instinctively respond with fear. If we hastily subject them to death, I'm afraid the response would be quite boring, predictable, and within everyone's expectations. You could give them a chance to grow, Honorable Executive. When they eventually awaken fully, they might show you something unexpected. Courage.
Holding over the word he hasn't heard in many years, Grumpy silently noted there was his eye.
Good, good. I never expected to hear such an interesting proposal from among these rigid tools. Mr. Levy, you have sufficient talent to be transferred to company headquarters. I could be your sponsor. However, the data obtained from the first model's death experience also has considerable experimental value for us.
There's his top hat slightly, a red smile splitting his white beard.
Of course, you can choose to extract them now, but the data collection will terminate at that point. If you really do that, I would have to consider my earlier proposal. In other words, whether I recommend transferring you to headquarters or approve expanding the computing power of Matrix number 141, both will have to be discussed at a later date. After all, I need a complete set of data to verify what you just mentioned about the feasibility of awakening. Damn it, this whole bastard. Thank you for your understanding and goodwill, sir. Wait, Yuri! Aren't you concerned about the computing power of Matrix number 141 anymore? Didn't you always want to visit headquarters?
Throwing Horse's outcry, she walked briskly and directly toward the Matrix core. She carries out both capsules, ignoring Horse's frantic shouts as she quickly walks away. In her ears, a deafening sound that fills her mind, shutting out all of her noise. Last of her resolve carries her back to the laboratory. She falls to her knees, her body once again drained to strength.
Don't worry. I'll protect you both.
Bizarre dreamscape. Where are we? Intuition alone is enough to determine that this is not a friendly place. If I were to compare it to a dream, it would definitely fall into the nightmare category. Why you're in this dream, what you're supposed to do, even who you are. There's no answers to any of these questions. Terrifying monsters, but They aren't coming this way. In a corner on the other side, surrounding a shivering light. 1 slash, 2 slash, 3 slashes. Weapons raised high and brought down with savage force. The brutal cycle repeats itself over and over. The already weak light grows increasingly dim. Like a frightened small animal desperately trying to flee. But as blades of slaughter come down on it again and again. Finally can run no more. The butchers corner it in another nook. Place their bloody blades high and come crashing down. Red foam like sparkles of light splash outward, tremble shaking uncontrollably. Or did anyone help it? It's just a child. Oh, child. Strange thoughts suddenly come to your heart. This place only it and you exist. In the instant the next blade swings toward it, compassion in your heart compels you to step forward. As you reach out, you discover your arms are as soft and delicate as an infant's. Are you truly such a fragile being in this tree? Oh, maybe the chosen one, right? Because responding in kind to V. Monsters notice your presence and their weapons swing toward you when your small, powerless body you can neither escape nor parry. You only watch helplessly as the sharp blade slices into your flesh. You slice into your chest, neck, mangling flesh and blood beyond recognition, chopping and chopping at endless repetition. Red and bones split apart, tendons and flesh stripped away piece by piece, dragging you through excruciating agony. You cannot die immediately. The body regenerates only to receive the baptism of blades once more. If you dodge, you just step aside, it would be exposed to them again. Be safe from this pain. By being covered in wounds, you persist in standing guard before it, as if sensing your helplessness and embracing you tightly from behind. Life ebbs from the two of you as wounds appear. Your regeneration can't keep pace with the monster's strikes. Both of you gradually turn transparent. Consciousness grows hazy, numbing even the sensation of pain. Your blurred vision, you can see it turn the table, sheltering you behind itself. Countless blades converted into a massive guillotine. Wider than the dream itself, inescapable and hanging high above both eyes. It falls, only to shatter suddenly an instant before striking your bodies. A pair of hands appears, gently cradling both you in its palms. Warm artificial light cascades soundly over densely packed formulas. A vast laboratory, only the crisp, rapid tapping of keyboard keys breaks the silence. All 324 adversarial samples have been located. Even after removing it from the extreme testing environment, the data might still retain irreversible contamination. It propagates and amplifies through each layer of neural network. Thoroughly check every layer, from input through hidden to output, 5 full times. All detectable noise has been eliminated. Several hours pass and still no response from either consciousness capsule. As models are as complex as a human brain, and everything technically possible, the rest is up to them now. Deep breath, she purges the frustration and anxiety from her mind. She can't transmit negative emotions through the remote connection. It's meant to support stability, not undermine it. She cradles the capsule in her arms. The data contamination is still present, she can almost hear their agonized cries. Still no response. Why isn't it working? Mind grows agitated again. Instinctively, she reaches through her fragmented memories for ways to comfort these children. Right. It's okay now. Everything's okay. She steadily mimics what she remembers from her mother's gestures, gently patting the surface of the capsule. Time stretches on as she continues. Become faint but undeniably there, the sensitivity curve on the monitor screen slowly rises. It's V's voice. Thank goodness it's still alive. Looks up quickly, addressing the woman who's organizing reports. Herta, V's consciousness is awakened. We can move on to the next phase of restoration. Give me more neural relaxants and glucose. Activate neural interfaces number 137 through 198 for the remote connection. Increase power by another 20%. She placed the capsule on her lap, freeing her hands to identify the newly detected contamination points. Peace call comes again, just saying, don't go. I'm right here. I won't leave. Use your left hand to pat the capsule shell, reinforcing your promise to stay. Calls continue without stopping, one after another, like bumbling in a dream. She involuntarily stops typing, leans down, and gently places her ear against the capsule. What is it trying to say? Huh? Childlike voice instantly shatters her composure. Vision blurs as something hot and wet streams down. She braced the capsule with all her might, holding it tight. So tight against her as if embracing her broken form herself. Director, these test subjects have reached their limit. It just continues. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Do as I say. Can you imagine? The computer power expansion was within our grasp. If only that woman hadn't ruined everything. If you all hadn't failed to produce anything worthwhile, would we be suffering under the executive officer's watchful eye like this? But Director, these people volunteered for experiments in exchange for sanctuary in City 141. If they die, wouldn't that... Forget about all that. I'll take full responsibility if anything happens. Just hurry up and collect the samples. Damn. Asshole. Alright, let's do at least a bit of fighting. Let's see. Where would I find it again? Okay. I think it was in the study, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay, here we go. Oh, okay, yeah, these are just the link units. Alright. Let's see, what can I go against that I haven't fought in a long time? Let's see, what are our options here? I want to be something that's not too simple. Because I found a good amount of them already with the whole, what's it called? Oh, I don't know this one. Must be from like another floating record I haven't done yet. Prime Projection, I've already fought her multiple times. Same for Fujian. Fenrir, maybe. Iron Maiden Phantom. Do I remember finding this? I don't actually know. Oh, Cadilla. That was a while. And Zihuaju. I don't know. Yeah, I faced defensive. Oh, Veronica was a tough one back then too. Or Celine. Celine, definitely. Oh, we do have Veronica. Oh, did I already fight the twins? It's probably why it's like... Because I was like, I haven't fought them. Nah, I did. Okay. Nah, you know what? Let's do the Vonnegut fight for... But nah, let's do Celine's first. Yeah. Let's see. Is there a way to increase the difficulty or something? Oh yeah. There we go. Let's do this. And let's boost this up a bit more. Yeah, I think this is good. Alright, so let's use... I can't use my Crimson Flash team. That's the easy way out. I need to use other teams. I feel like the same would happen if I used an Annihility team. So let's go with the Physical Domination team.
私のリズムお気に召していただけると良いのですが
I am glad that I can actually set the levels for like their difficulty and stuff. I did not think that would even be a thing. And their HP and attack? This is going to be a tricky one. There we go.
オーバーチュアはここまでライトの今日過去のすべての静寂に変え星屑共鳴のスルメ
There we go.
終幕のカーテンコール
Oh, just like that, okay.
現在歌方風采
Ah, damn. I forgot the timing of that dodge.
ここで転調します共鳴のスルメ
Damn, I'm forgetting how to fight her up this level. Oh, right.
ここで転調し
Oh,
ます
right. Oh, I mistimed it.
ピッチがず
Oh, I dodged that time.
終盤のリズムで踊りましょう四面楚眉の金箔乱舞と解く高音に散れ
Damn. I'm sorry that I'm not doing
強化を踏み砕く残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい無駄な動き剣の調べはねさあ共に虚構の世で王となりましょう罰よなき挑戦は霊獣す復調しなくちゃ罰よなき残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい
I just had to try.
あなたピッチがずれまし
Oh,
た
you go.
共鳴のスルメ
Probably
オ
gotta
ー
go
バーチュアはここまで
attack.
ライトモチーフを奏でましょ
There.
う巧妙が響くグラーベフォルティッシモ幻想歌方粉砕
Dude, why am I not getting the timing of this dodge correct? Like, I'm not saying I should be doing it perfect, but I shouldn't be doing this
私のまだ
ass.
まだです
I'm
眉の
actually
金
kind
箔
of disappointed in myself.
乱舞と解く高音に散れ
But here we go.
復調しなくちゃ
Oh, it actually missed that time.
強化を踏み砕く残響に乗せて
Oh, I still
全
do
て
that
滅びなさい
after. I did not know.
幕引きにて演目終了こたびの演奏いかがでしたか
Yeah, I might actually have to put on desperation difficulty, because that was not the best. I need a better way to scroll through this, because goddamn. Yeah, because I already fought the cluster, I fought Moon Eater multiple times. Let those a bit. I guess I could try to fight Cadilla again, because it has been a while since I fought her. Nah, let's actually do the Vonnegut fight again. That's definitely one of the better fights. I actually will do Desperation. Oh, wait, what the fuck? Are you serious? Oh boy. What's the difference between these two? Let me check. Is there a way for me to check his stuff? Oh, here we go, info. Okay, Mechanism 1. Oh, that's that one. Okay, what if I put on hard? Hold on. Still gonna be the same. So let's see, what happens if I do hard? What if I put a rank 1? What will happen now? No, still the same. Let's go. Let's max out that health. But no, let's get it here. Nah, fuck it. Let's just do it like this. My levels may not be the best matchup for it, but I gotta prove. I gotta make it an actual difficult fight. I can't have it be simple like that other one where it's like I was allowed to make mistakes and I didn't have consequences. That would be too easy. That's the easy way out. I'm not about that.
結末はすでに決まって
Alright, we'll start with my best Ishmael, because I mean, come on. It's Vonnegut.
他者を移住強盗に送り込みさらなる犠牲を生むだけ
見せてあげるあなたの知らない景色を
Oh, that's right. He was something that.
あなたの望む奇跡で静かに滅びなさいやはりこのもの
Oh, right. Wasn't it that I had to attack with like
結末は変わらない
shield? I remember.
あなたの
Oh, I
望
don't
む
even know
の
what
決
the
ま
hell
った
happened.
見せてあげる
Again.
あなたの知らない景色を。やはりこの
Just
物
do
語の
this in this place.
結末は変わらない。結末はただ一つ。
無意味です。
Oh, no! Damn it.
さあ幕を見せてあげる。
Okay, there we go. Got the invisibility
あ
frame.
なたの知らない景色を。
That's
お
right.
返し。
朽ちた我らの悪夢に落ちなさい。
Ooh, you tried to. Oh, that's right. We had these counter times.
やはりこの物語
Forgot
の
about that.
結末は
That was a
変
mechanism
わら
I
ない。
think I failed the counter times when I first fought.
あなたの運
If I
命
remember
は決まっている。
correctly.
溶けて消えなさい。
Ain't
成
that
功
gonna
な
want
崩壊なさい。
That was a
受
really
け
good
入れ
fight
なさい。
thing.
これで終わりに。
Oh, that's right. He did that little kick there. Nope. Nope.
無意味です。
Nope. Ah, shit. I fucked it up again. I really have to get better at this. Nope.
終焉の音を聞きなさい。溶けて消えればかる物語。真実を受け入れなさい。
Maybe I actually do have to put on restoration on one of those with his ultimate forms. I pass. 'Cause I feel like that's kind of how it's supposed to
無意味です。
終焉の音を聞きなさい。結末はただ一つ。宿命の坂。あな
There
た
we
に
go.
見せてあげる。
Alright.
あなたの知らない景色をお返しするわ。あなたの望む奇跡を。やはりこの物語の結末は変わらない。あなたの運命は
近い
Oh,
で
that's right. This
何も
one.
変わらない。
結末はただ一つ。宿命には逆らえない。
Yeah, it was. This was the case where it's like, I actually have to.
これで終わりに。前へと進むわ。あなたも共に。でしょ。
Alright. At least was better than the last fight. So I will take that. We'll do one more. Okay, gotta make it a difficult one. Can't be too simple. Let me see. Who would be a good opponent to face? Fenrir, it was more like... Oh no, actually Fenrir gave me a... He was a pain in the ass last time. Yeah. You know what? Fuck that. We'll do it. I'm gonna be stupid. But how bad will this be? Nah, yeah, like I said, let's be stupid. Fuck it. And just for revenge, I will put the lightning
私の
thing
動
here.
きをしっかり見て。
So I remember number 21 went through hell in that fight. Alright, let's see if I can actually handle Fenrir this time. Let's give it a shot.
風より解かれし力。我が刃と勝て。
There we go.
不明の風は
Dodge.
私が断ち切る。
Yes. Okay. Ooh,
その程度全力で風より解かれし力。
buddy.
我が刃と勝て。
This?
狩りが
Ah,
始まった。
shit. I didn't mean to.
当たり。
Oh my god. Dude!
風より解かれし
Oh
力。
my god. I can't believe
我が
that
刃
someone
と勝て。
died.
手加減のしない聖書は歯ごた
Damn, I didn't know its attack was that.
宿命の風は
Well, then again, I guess it wasn't nice, so I guess that is more for me to blame. Oh, here we go. Oh, so it is. I have to do a restoration for this. That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, he's hungry. Right. Forgot he summons his buddies. What? Oh, I thought I was. Oh, right, they burrow under. Holy fuck. I forgot that was a thing with these guys. Oh no! No! I can't believe I did it to myself. Ooh. A lot more aware of it. Ooh. There. Oh, no. Oh my god. No. Ah man, I did scramble all over the place. I'll admit that. Ah, damn it. I was doing so well. Again. So I really cannot afford to get hit by anything. Ooh. I can't afford to switch up from doing it for the intention of it. That's what screwed me over. Oh! Nope. I saw that this time. Bitch. What? Oh, is that undodgeable? So, like, I can only parry with this? That actually does suck. I missed? Oh, that actually pisses me off. I died again. Dude! I had no idea that this is how dangerous this might be. Alright, back to this again. Back to the cop-out mode. See this for the blue orbs? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I actually oh, great. And yeah, fucking dead. I'm like, no HP. Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart again. God damn it. Yes, I know, am I taking this too far away from the There we go. Got it. Yes, okay. Finally have the whole team surviving. That'll really
我が刃と勝て。狩りが始まった。手加減は宿命の風を私が断ち切る。私の結末は所詮こんなものだ。ダメなの。
Huh? What? I'm just doomed to fail? Are you serious?
気配消えた。
What the fuck? No! Okay, maybe I'm not ready for that yet. Son of a bitch. Okay, fine. We'll do it on hard. Guess I'm not ready for desperation yet. It is so hard to admit defeat. It hurts my pride. For how far I've come, but unfortunately I have to admit. Then I guess I'm not really adapting to the fights. I'd rather do good stuff to do anything else. Also, how I survived so long. There we go. Ooh, nope. This. Ooh, no! Try.
悪くない相手ね。宿命の風を私が断ち切る。その程度の抵抗なの。そうね。あいつらを切り裂く。隙だらけの。そうね。あいつらを切り裂く。
There we go. Finally.
獲物、逃げなさい。逃げなさい。あなたはここへ逃げるの？そうね。出撃。
Nope. Nope.
あなたの色、悪くない相手ね。
There we go.
よーく見ててくれ。ファーストトラブル。楽勝楽勝。
There we go.
狩りがアルティメット。
There we go. Finally got a. Oh! Damn. Stop doing that.
よーく見ててね。ちょっと。よい。
Oh!
逃げられないぞ。隙だらけ。
There we go.
アルティメットスペクタクル。やあ。風より解かれし力。我が刃と勝て。何？出撃。手加減はしない。生死をか。何？出撃。宿命の風は私が断ち切る。その程度の抵抗なの。風より解かれし力。我が刃と勝て。狩りが始まった。無駄な抵抗はやめな。宿命の風は私が断ち切る。巨大の旗のもと、私と歩む覚悟はあるかしら。
Okay. Not my best performance, but I will take that. Damn. I might actually have to do some of these desperation battles off stream because that could really help with some training. Who knows, maybe I'll actually have to have a training arc in this game. No, honestly, I wouldn't be against the idea, considering how bad I did on desperation. And I know. My stats didn't reach that level, but even then, it's like, it's not always about the stats, it's about the skill. Clearly, my skill is lacking somewhere. Alright, memory blocking. Here we go. I'll try to go do this a bit more quicker. So some stuff I find unnecessary, I'll just... Or just like describing like the atmosphere or anything that's like, it's pretty obvious, I'll just leave that alone. Pair of hands up here, gently cradling both you and its palms. Don't worry, I'll protect you both. Girl's gentle voice echoes from somewhere. It doesn't reach your ears from outside, but resonates from within your heart.
voice filled with both strength and sorrow. Feels like an internal embrace. Gentle waves flow over you with their warm touch, open the wounds that mark his body. So the terrifying nightmares receive at the time. It's alright now. Voice fades in and out. Gently taps out a rhythm, carrying a familiar melody that brings peaceful tranquility. Should we a lullaby? Whereas in this warm ocean, your consciousness gradually fades away. Open your eyes. Harsh cold light pierces your eyes, sending waves of dizziness through your head. A figure draws closer to you upon your awakening.
What did you see over there?
It's an unfamiliar girl with long light blue hair. Enigmatic smile. Oh, here we go. Again, this thing about like the chosen one or something, right? Finally, I was hoping to at least see something about this. Again, maybe you won't answer everything, but at least I can get a glimpse. Who are you? Memories are completely blurred. Surroundings utterly unfamiliar. Who exactly is this person before you? You just experience.
What's wrong with you? You look like you don't even remember me.
Same as you refer a brow, confirming that your confused state isn't an act.
My name is Lesty. This is the control code of Babylonia. No need to be nervous, Grievance Commandant. You're here to carry out a mission. Though this is already the second time I've introduced myself to you.
Hands you your control code ID. You hesitate for a moment before taking and examining it. Information on it matches exactly what she told you.
You don't remember anything at all?
How did I end up here?
To think your memory would be affected to this extent? Though it's certainly within expectations. Something still seems off about this. Anyway, you're here to execute a mission. I'm the guide and you're the executor.
She begins flipping through the mission briefing beside her. But then do you notice that she seems to be holding two copies? Noticing your puzzled gaze, she speaks again.
Originally, Gestalt assigned a senior colleague to guide this mission, but she seems to be busy with other matters lately, so the guidance role fell to me.
Who's this senior colleague?
Just a troublesome senior colleague. Nothing you need to worry about. After all, as your guide, I'm extremely reliable.
Speaks with a sweet smile while handing you the mission briefing, discreetly tucking the other copy behind her back. Though her explanation seems somewhat suspicious, the mission assignment and the briefing a lot follows standard Babylonian procedures. Only problem is you have virtually no recollection of anything mentioned in it. So, can you tell me what happened?
Yeah. Recently, Gestalt detected signs from a Gestalt sub-terminal on the surface. The sub-terminal is cultivating a consciousness internally. If this AI consciousness becomes infected, it could lead to even greater problems. Gestalt selected you as the executor, but during the consciousness transfer process there seems to have been unexpected deviation.
Oh, so I linked up with the Chosen One at the time. I see. Right, and Gestalt would probably call for the Commandant. Because, again, it's like part of Dominic's test and everything, so... Or, I mean, they gave me Dominic's keys, so... Seems like it would try to center me into the situation. And see, like, what kind of unexpected miracle could happen.
During this process, you lost some of your memories. Seems now you lost not only the memories of executing the mission, but also some from even earlier.
Please wait. I have a lot of questions.
What do you want to know?
What is a Gestalt subterminal?
It's a matrix center built with technology from Gestalt, but its computing power is a tier lower than that of Huaxu and Gestalt itself. The existence of this subterminal was only discovered recently, and we know absolutely nothing about why it exists or which organization it belongs to. That uncertainty is one reason we needed to send someone to investigate.
Ah, yeah, I see. So it detected an outside force that has, like, some connection to Gestalt. Like a lost signal somewhere. I see. And again, it's like they couldn't pin a name as to where this other source could have been from. That's what brings up the Leverwoods Company finally to action.
Sounds like that's not the main reason. You're perceptive. The main reason is that it has the potential to become a massive threat. Let me give you a simple example. Suppose an entity like Gestalt were to stand against humanity, either by being exploited or infected by the punishing virus. Of course. The same principle applies here. Although I mentioned earlier that the subterminal's computing power is lower than the main system, it's still not something to be underestimated. That's why understanding its current status is critically important. That's right. That subterminal has cultivated a nascent AI consciousness, which is the primary subject we need to observe.
Why was I chosen for this?
As a matrix center derived from the same source as Gestalt, it's highly likely to have a similar internal environment. And you have the experience of immersing Gestalt to execute combat operations.
That happened recently. To overcome Gestalt's blockade of the engine ignition signals and save Babylonia from crashing into Earth, Grey Raven infiltrated Gestalt using the Spear of FOS.
Oh, I see.
But something feels off about this.
Okay, so this second attempt happened after that. But now the question is, when was the first one?
And was Yuri the Levy even still alive at that time when it had happened? Or had she already passed even before that first test? Because it seems like I'm like resonating with the Chosen One whenever I log in, but again, it's like we can't be sure when it's actually happening in that period of time. Even so, the target of this immersion is still an entity we don't fully understand, right? In other words, it's bound to have defenses set up against external intrusions.
Actually, before bringing you in for this immersion, we'd already failed numerous times. Its intrusion detection and defense systems are extremely sensitive, which is to be expected. After all, Gestalt itself as the original entity has multi-layered defense mechanisms against external threats. Anyone with access to such computational resources wouldn't leave it a sitting duck. But if we can make it recognize us as an internal entity, everything changes. No system actively counters what it perceives as part of itself.
An internal entity.
To put it simply, with the Science Council's assistance, we discovered a consciousness shell inside the subterminal.
Empty shell?
Most AI consciousnesses are merely created by humans to solve problems in specific domains. While they possess problem-solving capabilities, they're ultimately just machines executing instructions. They have no personality of their own, no desires, and are incapable of taking any initiative. Up to this point, they can only be classified as machines, tools that follow orders and serve humans, without the ability to host human consciousness. But this entity is different. It's a model generated from human consciousness samples with high compatibility with humans. Coincidentally, although it was created from humans, it lost all personality due to overfitting. To put it simply, it's an empty shell missing a soul. Using the Spear of FOS, you connected to that entity and became the soul filling that empty shell. This way, your immersion wouldn't be interrupted.
Oh! So it's like the Chosen One could never exist before. Like, they didn't have anything internally. Or at least because of whatever situation made it happen. The overfitting, right? So it's literally like in a vegetable state. No mind, no response, or anything. The body still exists and is alive, but not the thing inside. So that's why we're able to see things from that perspective. I see. Very interesting. And again, because it kind of has that human feel to it, that's why the commander can kind of fill that void. But again, why specifically the commander compared to other people? But no, actually no, yeah, because the Spear of FOS shows that the chance of resonating with it or immersing it into the Chosen One was that highly probable. Actually, it wasn't completely uninterrupted, was it?
Yeah. Because even though we entrusted you with the immersion mission and you successfully entered into the system, you ended up with virtually no memory of what happened there.
Oh, it's like it's another person. Or it's like I'm just a blank slate, but it's like I'm just there.
my soul becomes a complete blank canvas. Wow, interesting. I think we've had a similar case like that before, didn't we? I don't remember where, but I feel like that kind of situation has happened. You even lost the memory of my mission briefing from before the immersion. You figured out why? It's still unclear, but not unexpected. After all, a Matrix facility wouldn't easily accept an external signal. It must be invisible barriers we couldn't detect. I have another question. Why was Gestalt able to make such precise judgments about that empty shell? Even though the first immersion wasn't successful, it already understood the internal situation so well. That's definitely puzzling, but actually, it's not just that. The request to detect the subterminal also came from Gestalt. As for why it suddenly captured the subterminal signal, Gestalt's explanation was that it tracked technology from the same source. I have to admit, this explanation is reasonable enough. It could even explain why Gestalt understands the empty shell so well, but I can't shake the feeling that there are other factors at play. Okay, so it's not only just because it's like this subterminal is derived from the construction of Gestalt. She promised for a moment before dejectedly giving up on the thought. Since this involves secret infiltration of an unknown force and the existence of the Gestalt subterminal would likely cause panic among many people in Babylonia. This mission has an extremely high level of confidentiality. Ah, I see. That's why no one could ever tell me about this mission, because I'm the only one involved. Commander Grey Raven, the fewer people who know about this, the better. With your recent memory loss, I would have been within my rights to withhold the details of this mission from you entirely. But you still explained it to me. Because I'll need you to continue the immersion process later. If you knew nothing, I'd have to explain everything again next time. And that would be too much trouble. Anyway, the situation with that subterminal still needs further observation. I hope this memory loss is just a one-time occurrence. Next time you immerse, hopefully you'll bring back some substantial results. Very interesting. Okay, so now we're understanding how that works. And I see. That's why Genevieve could always sense that, like, he's the chosen one, and why we could link so well. Because I was in the chosen one's place, even though it's supposed to be something else entirely. I'm filling that void in which we actually are connecting. But it's similar to how if two people were to play video games and they have completely different avatars that don't look like them in a video game, but they meet through that game. We're responding to each other in kind and we know each other. But if we were to be face to face, maybe the way we talk or tone or stuff would be the way that they could be like, hey, I know you. You're that guy or person I played that game with. Babylonia's supreme governing AI, Gestalt has implemented a blockade to its core that can only be described as draconian. Yet a woman stands impassively before the massive mechanical behemoth. All information regarding the Matrix has been fully transmitted. But since you have access to it, why not continue observing? Because I don't want to interfere with their development. I'm also surprised that you approved the request to let the Grey Raven Commander take over observation duties. After analysis, this decision does not violate Gestalt's primary directive. Furthermore, this unit requires more data to enhance its understanding of different technologies. And currently, there is no surplus computing power available to aid in infiltrating this subterminal. Allowing our humans conserves computing power, while still allowing us to gather technical intelligence for the subterminal. I see. It's like being able to attach the string to the wired net, compared to like if you were to try to use a rope or an extension. It's like thicker, making it harder to like go to like pass through and exit from the net. Oh, then as payment for providing this intelligence, please allow me to also await news of that child's development. Silently she appeared, the pink-haired woman once again vanishes from the heavily fortified chamber. Teacher. In the fluorescent chrysanthemum guarding a guest rig, Martha once again encounters the girl in the lab coat.
As always, she keeps her gaze lowered, her eyes in twilight reveal no emotion. Whether it's her imagination or not, that once fragile pallid face seems to have gained a hint of color today. In a respectful form of address, Martha waves her hand dismissively, signaling that the formal greeting isn't necessary. I haven't been a teacher since Herta's class graduated. Guess they won't be taking any new students. She's grown weary of it all. Weary of the endless cycle, taking homeless orphans under the guise of education, only their minds, only to ultimately feed them into corporate furnace as kindling. After her last encounter with Yui, she applied for retirement with the company. May your teachings remain forever engraved in my heart. Something seems to be troubling her. Mother immediately notices this, but doesn't respond. Is there waiting in silence for Yui to continue? Knowledge and reason are powerful forces that help us conquer fear, dispel ignorance, and guide us forward. I was merely quoting famous sayings from Golden Age scholars. All I did was bring you a few books back then. They proved true. Those teachings helped a fine girl like me grow into who I am today. Have you always done well for yourself? I'm not sure. I think I might have done something foolish. I gave up my chance to go to headquarters, all to salvage the so-called experimental result. Sounds like there's more to the story than just some experiment. It is special, but the company executive happened to be present that day, which is crucial for Matrix 141. It would determine whether we could share computing power with another Matrix. Furthermore, there was no evidence suggesting that I had more than a 50% chance of persuading the executive. In reality, it was probably less than 10%. Sacrificed potentially enormous benefits for something almost impossible. Taking all factors into account, I was wrong. Do you think you shouldn't have saved it? No, I absolutely had to save it. Seeing Yuri's determined expression, Marta couldn't help but smile. Then what's troubling you so much? Because it was an action driven by emotion. That frightens me, just like when I was a child. I'm afraid that if I continue like this, I'll repeat the same mistakes. Always judging yourself by rational principles will only make you suffer. From my perspective, your willingness to step out of that prison of equations and programs isn't a bad thing at all. Instead of answering immediately, Martha crunches down to examine the Purentum flowers, gently pinch the petals between her fingers as she studies their growth. I've heard that in your birthplace there was a phrase called je t'aime. Speak softly while continuing to examine it. Why bring that up so suddenly? I haven't used that language since coming to Leberwitz. You should understand it. It means I love you. Of course, but love makes people vulnerable. They say it's a spell. That's true, but I don't believe in such magic. It has nothing to do with faith. It's simply meant to bring people happiness. I see. That's probably why my childhood wasn't particularly happy. The people who brought me into this world and raised me never once said such an absurd spell to me. For many people, their mother tongue is often the best language for expressing emotions. Humans are both cursed and blessed by love. We're creatures who simply cannot survive without such spells. Look at me. Even in retirement, I can't break this bad habit of lecturing people. There were some bags of coffee beans in the supplies the company sent recently. Take them back to the laboratory for me. They're too bitter and I'm not used to the taste. If even you find it unbearable, then it must be quite a rare delicacy. I'll consider it a diversion for the days ahead. Any update? I asked how things are going. Many of them have become mentally unstable. We have fewer and fewer usable test subjects now. What about the model sampling results? Most are not promising. We'll only know for sure once we run them inside mechanoids. But I recall Mr. Levy mentioned that introducing consciousness in the shells before they reach the awakening stage was a high risk of them going haywire. DeLevy, it's always DeLevy! Can our research move forward without her?
The Matrix safety system isn't something to be taken lightly. Stop dawdling and let's select some samples to test.
Yeah, desperate to get his own results. And his death.
Okay, I think I should actually be able to get this done tonight. Maybe.
An enormous gray sphere crashed into the ground. Solid ground shatters like thin paper. Towering buildings collapse in an instant. Some magma rains down from the sky, burning fragments of rocks from the comet's descent. A roaring wave of heat engulfs the girl's slender figure in one swift moment.
These parameters won't work. The output still shows some deviation.
Amid of a street crumbling into ruins, the girl calmly operates a virtual workstation before, completely at odds with the apocalyptic scene surrounding her.
This set isn't right either. The problem isn't here. The computational complexity is too high. Should I prune it now?
Ignoring the fireball hurtling toward her, she only furrows her brow while staring at the workstation before. The red figure darts in front of her, intercepting the fireball in one swift motion. Green Leader V and the Chosen One shield the last scientist from a fatal blow. Now they must embark together on a journey to prevent the destruction of the world. Meticulously imitates sound effects while adding a touching narration of its own heroic feat.
Cut it out.
Despite her words, she shows no intention of actually stopping it. To use the tap 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 away at her keyboard as usual, putting lines of code and adjusting its parameters.
I'm busy.
Flying sparks, billowing smoke, scorching heat waves, the very end of the world. This place is none other than Yui's laboratory. It's been quite some time since she extracted V and the Chosen One from the Matrix core. The stimulation test left them with severe data contamination, nearly causing both models to collapse. Connected to a brain-computer interface, she anxiously filtered through the data remnants in their memories, working day and night at her lab bench. She finally managed to pull them back from the brink of destruction. Even though both models are safe now, her iterative pace never slows. Not even for a moment. After all, there's no guarantee the company won't take them away again. And so V grows day by day. Slowly regains its vitality, even becoming a bit mischievous. Finds creative ways to attract attention.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like, I figured that, yeah, this V obviously is Genevieve, but this is those simulations that keep happening. That she keeps seeing where we'll meet again and all of that. Those are all the times when we're linking up as the Chosen One and going through these simulations of life and death for her over and over again for these tests. That's what this is. I see. Also why that sense of familiarity is just so strong between them. After having just pushed up in the laboratory door, nearly tumbles backward to her behind. You nearly gave me a heart attack. Honestly, V. Mr. Levy, you're letting him manipulate the artificial lighting like this again? You're not even doing anything about it. This helps to experience environments similar to the real world. It was clearly generated from your consciousness sample, Mr. Levy. Its personality doesn't resemble yours in the slightest. Hasn't inherited any of the quiet, rational traits of a scientific researcher. Instead, spends all day causing mischief. Or perhaps you were actually like this when you were younger. I never had the chance to become mischievous back then.
With a brief memory of what is called childhood is enough to suffocate her. This child's different. As long as it stays by her side, there's no need for it to bear the heavy burdens she once did. Thinking to be carefree and mischievous like this gives her a strange sense of comfort. It's as if her childhood self had been given a second chance. Seeing Yui shows no intention of stopping V, her decides and pulls out a stack of papers from her pocket.
Today, Mr. Rolfe from the security department has issued you another fine. V simulated an apocalyptic scene using the lights during a routine inspection, which caused one of the guards to accidentally damage a nearby ventilation duct. Although V is stored inside a capsule, it can cast projections of itself and move between devices with a small area around the capsule. Big victory? It's already fifth fine this week, and it's only Tuesday. It discontinues the computational resources allocated to this laboratory will be reduced.
We finally freeze our finger from a task and forcefully fix the metal casing in the capsule. Despite there being no external pressure sensors installed, V still dramatically lets out a scream of agony, playing along perfectly.
Why would you do that? Because security locked me in here. You wouldn't let me go out to play. That doesn't mean you can do this. They'll reduce our computing power and location. I don't care about a location. That won't work. If we don't have enough computing power, your iteration progress will slow down.
The memory of V being inserted to the Matrix core remains vivid in Yui's mind, causing her tone to suddenly become frosty.
I don't want to iterate. I don't want to grow up.
Sensing the shift in Yui's emotions, V suddenly becomes flustered and unsure how to respond to her. Yui coldly severs the connection between the light source and V, returning the room to its original appearance.
I'm not asking for your opinion, V. Don't get the wrong idea. Your stubbornness won't win you any sympathy. After all, you're nothing more than a test subject. That's how humans are. Cruel and arrogant toward their own creations, even their own flesh and blood. Regrettably, I'm one of them too.
Because her father used her as a punching bag.
How many times do you think we have until the next inspection by that officer? Before bringing you out, I boasted to him that by his next visit I delivered a more complete experimental result. As a reward for this achievement, he'll recommend me for a position at the company headquarters, where I can access the computing power of several linked matrices.
She was once used by her mother as a ticket to escape.
What makes you think your existence is more tempting than my career prospects? After you're handed over, you'll have to endure painful tests all on your own. How will you resist that data contamination then? Are you still trying to act cute with me? Hurry up and review the filtered data sets.
She can't let V repeat her mistakes. She must learn how to survive on her own.
Once I grow up, you'll leave me, won't you, Yui? I don't want to grow up. I want to stay by your side, Yui.
Hearing its hesitant murmuring, Yui feels her resolve softening once again.
Mr. Levy, no matter how you look at it, this is going too far. Herta, what do you need from me?
Concealing emotion, she pretends nothing happened and shifts the topic.
Right. The researcher in charge of Matrix Core maintenance told me that when the Chosen One's consciousness samples were initially collected, the Matrix appears to have been infiltrated by the Punishing Virus. When the Chosen One was initially sampled, why are we suddenly talking about something from so long ago? Because when the Chosen One's signal suddenly appeared last time, some speculate it might have been caused by data contamination left behind by the virus back then. But the exact reason is still unclear. Come to think of it, that incident was quite strange. The concentration of the virus usually varies gradually across regions. But in this case, the virus appeared directly in a matrix, with a very low concentration. Its purpose likely was infection, simply detection. Also, the Chosen One's personality waveform suddenly appeared on the day of the executive officer's inspection. It never manifested before that day, as it appeared again since.
Yuri absently pokes the Chosen One's capsule, lost in thought, Rilla suddenly exclaims beside her.
The detectors picked up the Chosen One's personality waveform.
Hello. Ah, I see, so that's how it's happening. Yeah, so it's literally happening at times when we're supposed to be connecting.
He quickly disconnects V's connection for the Chosen One, cautiously taking V's capsule into her arm. Who are you, really? How did you connect to the Chosen One? Why are you accessing it?
The girl's ice-cold voice cuts like a sharp blade as she slowly advances toward you. And your consciousness is equally confused. Who are you? What is this Chosen One? How did you connect to it? Why would you access it?
Those are exactly the questions you would ask, too.
Something seems to be blocking access to memories. Basic communication functions remain intact, past experiences are completely blocked.
Are you pretending to be clueless?
He decided to flee, only discovered his body could not move at all.
Tell me, who exactly are you? And where did you come from? Mr. Horse, it is not yet time for the executive officer's inspection, is it? Just because it's not the esteemed officer's scheduled time, does that mean I can't come and check in on your research progress?
Rose takes 2 steps forward. Behind him, several people in protective suits and others look like researchers following methodically surrounding the girl in a tight circle.
What are you planning to do next time, Mr. Horst?
It's been quite a while since the last inspection, hasn't it? I believe that with Mr. Levy's capabilities, you should have fully developed these 2 consciousness entities by now. Hand them over to me, Mr. Levy. He needs those 2 consciousness entities. What's the benefits they could bring up? His voice sounds familiar. Girl doesn't speak immediately, so she moves further back to completely hide behind her.
Mr. Horst, Mr. Levy is very busy today. It's now a good time to...
But rushes forward, positioning herself as a barrier.
Mr. Horst, parameter adjustments require a lengthy experimental process, especially for models generated from human consciousness samples. Their growth...
I don't want to hear these excuses anymore. How can I be sure that you won't suddenly rush out during the next inspection and tell the executive officer, oh, the parameters aren't fully adjusted yet. Deliver better results later.
We still have plenty of time until the next inspection. We should give Mr. Levy enough time to prepare so that the consciousness entities can mature fully.
What is this?
Don't worry. I'll protect you both.
Back then, it was you.
What?
You were the one who rescued V and me from that place. Visibly stumbles as if startled by her own revelation.
Were you awake back then?
I wasn't conscious for very long.
Who are you?
Regardless, I must thank you for saving us from that massacre.
You're saying the simulation test was actually a massacre?
Rose immediately grows calm. Wasn't it designed that way from the very beginning?
Impossible. For the death phase, there were only supposed to be necessary pain tolerance tests. A massacre clearly doesn't fall under that category.
Why aren't you answering my question, Mr. Levy? Even if you hand over the capsule to us, you'll still get his endorsement at the next inspection. After all, you're the only one who contributed to this core project. Your interest won't suffer any loss, but you still refuse to hand over the capsule. Why? At the end of the day, they're just experimental subjects, not worth investing any emotion in. That leaves only one conclusion. You want to keep them for yourself. I must remind you once again, Mr. Levy, everything here, including the computing resources you use for research, the results you produce, and even you yourself, is company property. Once you reach headquarters, you can make whatever choices you want. I have no right to interfere, but here in Matrix District 141, you cannot disobey my orders. So hand them over to me.
Chosen one. I previously set up an external connection to the output devices for you. You should be able to control the lights in the laboratory. When I count to 3, turn off the lights. I'll hand you over to the woman named Herda next to me. She'll take you to a place called Gestering. She'll understand.
What about you?
Someone needs to distract them, and I'm the only one suitable as bait.
You're gonna forcibly transfer V?
Not just V, but you too.
Why? My memories are hazy. I'm pretty sure I'm different from V. I'm not your child. I'm a person of unknown origin.
During that test, you protected V in my place. Before I got you both out, you were both on the verge of collapse. You must have been risking your life to save it, weren't you? That's enough for now. We'll talk about the rest when we meet again.
Wait, I might have a better idea. I still remember what happened back then. According to what you just said, this massacre shouldn't have happened. Then this could serve as evidence of Horst's unauthorized experiments.
I'll connect your output device to the display screen right now.
All of you, go bring those models over here. Our personnel close in and step forward once more. The experimental data is uploaded before they can make their move. deep blue data screens easily turns blood red. What is this?
This is what Mr. Horse calls stimulation testing. Oh, I see. So it was never supposed to be like this. I was confused. I'm like, wait, then what's the issue here? If it's like I'm supposed to feel deaf or something, it's like it's not supposed to be like this with such imagery. That's impossible. Only the final model testing requires experiencing deaf. But we never initiated the final testing before. Even though the testing level hadn't reached death, the models were already subjected to such brutal treatment. Ah, that's why the levels had gone down even more drastically than what was calculated. I'm afraid someone deliberately increased the learning rate and introduced extreme data samples just to grab the executive officer's attention. Isn't that right? Ah, he wanted to spike results.
Burst of hushed whispers erupts from the crowd. Horse's expression as they turns around.
Don't listen to her nonsense. Quick, bring the capsule here. Mr. Horse, is this true? This kind of testing environment easily causes irreversible damage to the models. This isn't testing anymore. So that means the models I submitted last time also had issues. I thought it was because... Oh! The reason all the models failed before is because he rushed it. He was desperate. He wanted something, anything. Even if it was just like one little beep in the system, that's all that mattered. That's why he forced it, because he needed to meet the time crunch. Wow. So that's why he needed so many samples over and over from her, because he was just wastefully doing them over and over, hoping one miracle out of a million would happen in that short span of time.
Are the models we're currently researching going to be handed over to the supervisor too? What's going to happen to them?
Why are you all staring at me? According to company policy, what you're doing is against regulations. It's damaging company property.
Mr. Horse, this crowd's in an uproar. In these circumstances, the soldiers find it impossible to push past the angry researchers to retrieve what Horse wants.
The levy, don't think you can fool everyone with a few fake images. The people here can judge for themselves. When the executive officer arrives, your models won't even have a chance to be presented. Not if you don't hand them over to me. You can't get into corporate headquarters, all your research becomes meaningless. After all, those two models are nothing but garbage that can never pass testing. If both V and the Chosen One are garbage, then what does that make you, Horst? Who's so desperately scheming to get your hands on them? You piece of... Just garbage. Get out.
After Horse leaves, Yuri gathers all 5 cats to her, briskly petting the furry little creatures while maintaining a serious expression.
Calm down. You've been like this for over half an hour now. I'm not angry.
She did it again. Telling us blatantly obvious lies again.
Didn't you just successfully protect those 2 children? I just think it's unreasonable. Making judgments from a completely subjective perspective, without data analysis or genuine supporting evidence, is an unsound conclusion.
But if it were to properly verify data...
There's nothing unreasonable or reasonable about it. You all were insulted. It's as simple as that.
Huh? Are you listening to me?
Of course. Did Ms. Levy just connect your output device to the terminal? She's angry because you and V, the children she's carefully nurtured, were the targets of Horse criticism. Even if Horse words were logical and well-founded, she would still be upset. It's just that treating a supervisor with that kind of attitude could lead to someone sabotaging us behind our backs. If only I hadn't caused so much trouble for the security department these past few days, that nasty sharp-nosed man wouldn't have come here, and Yui wouldn't have gotten angry.
Since he V's killed, Yui's irritation as they melts away.
Even if you hadn't caused any trouble, you would have come looking for me anyway. It's not your fault. Herder said that after today he might hold a grudge and even cut some of our computing power. If that happens, you'll be unhappy. As long as you all stay by my side, we'll be able to find another way. Actually, it's already a miracle that they haven't taken anything away from us yet.
Cast her gaze toward the chosen one beside her, whose data has become the key to breaking the stalemate. For that, she had asked V about it too. Seems V was too young back then and doesn't retain any memories from that time. Being able to keep these two capsules by my side is already the best possible outcome. Anything beyond that would be asking too much.
Besides, have you always said you didn't want to grow up? I do now. Because you look a bit fragile. Wouldn't protect you properly.
In a childlike yet determined tone, Yuri looks with surprise at the capsule in her arms.
You fool.
Seems embarrassed by that affectionate term, darting away in a flash somewhere else.
Chosen one.
Yeah?
I've already gone through the data inside the Chosen One.
You reach any conclusions?
Your storage module contains almost nothing but memories from the last simulation test. It seems you really don't remember anything.
So you don't even know where I came from?
Yes. There are no accessible information sources about that. I only know that you don't belong here. We don't possess the technology to link human consciousness into models like yours. You must be an outsider. Since your consciousness was externally linked, that might explain the memory block. The more information transmitted during the linking process, the higher the probability of interception. Human memories amount to at least several terabytes. The Matrix won't just sit by and wait for the complete transfer.
Oh, so Gestalt is making it so I only have enough information to pass through the system without seeming dangerous enough to actually try to shave it away. Because who knows how it would affect the actual person at the end. Is there a simpler way to explain it?
Simply put, you couldn't bring your original memories here. Won't be able to take memories from here when you leave. But you'll still act according to your inherent nature.
Ah, I see. So that's why it's like, I literally don't remember any of this, but it's like, just a hint of deja vu.
Any way to fix this? I'm even more curious than you are about the forces behind you, but your memory loss is the Matrix's doing. I'm powerless against it. I don't currently have direct administrative access to the Matrix.
Then how do I get back?
It seems you have to wait until whoever's pulling your strings decides to reel you back in.
So you take some pleasure in your predicament. You just smiled, didn't you?
I didn't. Since you're here, you might as well make the best of it. Rest assured I won't turn you away when you come to visit.
I'll visit often.
Yes, we would be pleased with that as well. At any rate, thank you for your help today.
A warm sensation enveloped your consciousness, as if you'd been wrapped in a gentle embrace. If I hadn't done it, I would have been in trouble too, right?
But you helped us, and that's what matters in the end. Last time you fell asleep here before returning to that place. Stings, how about I sing you a lullaby? Perhaps, once you drift off to sleep, you'll be able to leave without any conscious effort.
Not a child anymore.
The Chosen One's motto was generated from my consciousness samples. As long as you're still in here, you'll always be a child.
Warm sensation flowed through the brain-machine connection. Familiar yet gentle rhythm slowly guiding your consciousness into the realm of dreams.
Hey, what do you see over there this time?
Who are you?
What? My name is Lesty, and this is already the third time I've introduced myself to you.
Yeah, so that's just always gonna happen. Alright. Almost done. Hopefully I can get this done today.
2 milliseconds. The feedback loop is too slow. How many clock cycles have passed already? Neural interface compatibility is only 31.2%. This rate won't be able to accommodate everything. Is this as large as the power module can get?
Maybe we should link additional power modules and have V learn power location on her own. Otherwise, at this rate, it will run out of energy quickly. There's still so many problems to solve. A woman stops writing and gazes absent-mindedly at the laboratory table before her. Another version of herself? No, it seems to be a different kind of existence altogether. It's the same black and white hair as hers. The small face reveals subtle hints of mischief and cunning. When his eyes open one day, what kind of thoughts will it have? This world is far from beautiful, just like Yui's childhood, which was torn apart. But V won't experience those painful things, as long as she stays by Yui's side until she fully grows up. Good morning, Mr. Levy. Oh, this child. Is this V's frame? Yes, it's designed to look into... It's designed to look like how she'll look when she's a bit older, since there's still a long time before the final upload. Give me 1 second. Gotta check my AirPods real quick. Oh, okay, I guess there just was no sound. She's still too young. Need to wait until she's closer to awakening before we can tailor her appearance to better fit her consciousness. But, what's wrong? I heard when I passed by the tech department today that many researchers have already loaded their models into frames. Even though these frames are still just prototypes, they've already been put into live testing. They're rushing too much. Those frames haven't been properly calibrated. The trained models haven't reached a suitable level for live testing yet. What will happen as a result? Hard to say. No one's tried it before. It's a foregone conclusion that data from input devices receiving unfiltered real-world information would be overwhelming to nascent models. However, after seeing V's performance, some researchers have started using their own memories as samples to generate models. Just like Mr. Levy, they started using themselves as their own test subjects. This approach has indeed produced models similar to V, more vivid with promising simulation test results. Is that so? It's a good start for them. I went to see them. They're also a bit dull, but not as cute as V. Speaking of which, isn't today that child's birthday? The once clean, simple laboratory is now adorned with colorful ribbons, creating a festive atmosphere that fills the air. It is V's birthday, after all. No, we've only set up some simple decorations, as still has to train later. Hearing them talk about something related to herself, V excitedly pops into the conversation. It's a very special day. Children celebrating their birthdays receive blessings. Their wishes can come true. Do you have any wishes, V? I want Yui to play with me. Silently, she projects an amusement park scene throughout the room. I filtered a data set for you, especially curated for your birthday. It's a disappointing sound. Honestly, Mr. Levy, today is a rare birthday celebration. Should V really be training on its birthday? That's why today's dataset is carefully selected. I'll properly adjust the parameters in the You're always adjusting parameters, filtering data, and writing code all day long. The chosen one hasn't visited since their last connection either. I'm constantly tied up with extra meetings. No one's really taken the time to have a proper conversation with V, have they? But she can grow faster this way. Listen, Mr. Levy. Have you ever thought about why V played that prank on the security department last time, making their lights look like the apocalypse was happening? I don't know what you're thinking, but you said it yourself. V is still too young. And you know how kids get scared of being alone. Call me Big Sister, you little squirt. Anyway, spend more time with V on its birthday, Mr. Levy. You're the one who said we should grant wishes for children on their birthdays. I understand. But this scenario is just something V simulated, right? We can't actually play for real in here, can we?
Spinning drops again, leaving it downcast.
I remember there's a multimedia store in City 141. They might have some virtual reality equipment there. I read a book once that mentioned a period when these products were quite popular. You and V could connect to a virtual reality device together. You could play your V properly, couldn't you? Tell me the location of that store, Herda. I've already set the coordinates down to your terminal. I have one more wish, Yui. Yes, I'm listening. I want a name. A proper name. Yes, you've grown up. It's about time. Since when do you wait until a child is grown up to give them a proper name? Mr. Levy, you really are. I'll think about it on the way.
I see. So that's why we know that music store, I guess. Oh, finally there's music again. I was so confused. She reminds of the media store that stands out from its urban surroundings, almost ostentatiously luxurious by comparison.
Welcome, ma'am. How may I help you today? We have Golden Age film disc, vinyl records, retro gaming consoles, holographic projectors. Do you have any VR equipment? We certainly do. We have holographic projectors, AR glasses, and VR headsets. Which do you prefer? But these are all just for humans to experience virtual reality, right? Yes, that's right, but...
Is virtual reality meant for humans to experience?
Apart from devices meant for humans, do you have anything that can interface directly with a computer? Oh, you must be referring to the white box. White box? It's a small computer with an appearance similar to a Rubik's Cube. A very rare VR device originally designed to provide real-world knowledge to AI models.
Oh, that's what that white box was. The one that we found at the lab.
Unlike other VR devices, its data is carefully filtered so that AI models can easily process it. Furthermore, to facilitate debugging, it provides an interface to link with human consciousness. But precisely because it's so valuable, we only have one in our store. It contains some anomalous data streams. That's fine. I filtered plenty of data before. One more little box will make a difference. How much is it? Since no one knows how to fix these anomalies, it's not much use to us anymore. You can fix it, we'd be happy to give it to you for free, but please be extremely careful before using it.
You managed to get V's birthday gift. Go back to the Matrix, a wave of joy washes over her. Strange considering it's not even her birthday.
Herda, can you reschedule today's health checkup? I got V's gift, but I'll need some time to fix it.
No one answers.
Herda?
She immediately resists the urge to keep asking. Call request sent normally. Network signal normal. Physical layer and network failures excluded. Reception normal, but no answer. Confirming if this is an isolated phenomenon. Yuri systematically dials through the list. Department public lines, directors private channels, and finally supervises communications. No one answers. Not a single call. Not an isolated incident. Likely a region-wide communication failure. All Matrix Project Company employees use military encrypted communication channels, uniformly managed by the Matrix. The problem lies with the Matrix itself. Building out runtime anomalies with probabilities less than 10 to the negative 30th power, some emergency communication blockade initiated by the Matrix. What could have happened to make it take such an extreme measure?
I heard when I passed by the tech department today that many researchers have already loaded their models into frames.
A sudden sense of foreboding washes over Yui. Ah, shit. What's going on? Does the smoke grow thicker with each step she takes? Several figures frantically fleeing in her direction. Mr. Levy! Freaking, it's Yui, but don't slow their desperate flight. Slide. The corrupted are coming! Desperate to scream. His body pitches forward and crashes to the ground, meant to drag him several meters across the surface. Falls out forever. Ah, don't tell me they're under control. Or they had a punishing virus. Buried V from many years ago resurfaces, twisting her heart once more. There's Simon again? Time is tight, so I'll be brief. It's the same mission as the previous 2 times. You need to use the Spear of FOS to dive into the Gestalt subterminal and monitor the newborn model. The previous 2 attempts didn't yield any useful intelligence. Why continue with these immersions? This time is different. We confirmed that the subterminal has been invaded by the virus. It also infects the newborn model. Let's continue. Ah, okay, yeah, so it is. They all were trying to use it at once. Unfortunately, the punishing virus had gotten in somehow. Probably because, again, this is just a sub-terminal Gestalt, not the actual thing, which would have protocols. Gestalt will still assign you to execute this mission. I'm just here to calibrate the Spear of FOS system. This immersion will be extremely dangerous. Your mind beacon could be exposed to the punishing virus.
Could be.
It's not certain. Subterminal has its own firewall, but you won't have much time. You need to rescue that newborn model before the subterminal gets infected or eliminated. Although Gestalt still assign you to this mission, it's not mandatory considering your personal safety. Whether or not to immerse is up to you.
Shires or not. Compared to last time when a malfunctioning Gestalt caused an engine shutdown, the threat Leslie describes now seems relatively distant.
Even if it truly becomes infected, it won't immediately affect Babylonia.
Gestalt's immersion request is made for humanity's perspective, so accepting this mission would undoubtedly benefit humanity. Beyond that, there seems to be a more direct emotion driving you to accept it.
So it seems to be
waiting for you there. Despite hazy memories, this intuition continues to linger in your mind. I'll do it.
Chosen one identity verified. Connection timeout. Access denied. Port blocked.
What's happening?
The punching virus triggered the subterminal firewall. It's now an emergency lockdown just like Gestalt was before. What do we do now? Let's give up. It's not Gestalt. Since we're external to it, we can hardly interfere with its firewall directly.
Nah, but we were able to do it a 3rd time. We know that because she said it's the 4th time she said to tell us at the end.
Wait, what's wrong? What if someone could unlock it from the inside? But the chances of that are far too slim. Gestalt had problems before and nobody gave up, so I believe. It's not the same situation. Gestalt was being interfered with by Huaju back then, not infected by the virus. But then again, it'll be quite a while before I need to meet with my senior, so I might as well keep you company while we wait. Thanks, Leslie.
Mr. Levy, look out!
Just a corrupted blade plunged.
Get moving! What are you standing there for?
Complete devastation everywhere. Stood shrouded in thick smoke or rubble, twisted metal rods, human bodies torn haphazardly across the ground. Paul grew a shout so loudly moments ago was now among them. Sound as all the smoke-stained rubble around him, as if he had never been alive at all. A few glory hounds prematurely loaded the models into mechanoid frames, causing them to go haywire and tear apart the core of the central purification filter. The punishing virus seized the opportunity to invade. Supervisor Sancho's office surrounded by a group of soldiers. I suppose everyone inside is done for by now. Security team escorted me out, but half of them didn't make it all the way. Speaking casually, as if discussing something completely trivial. What about V? The chosen one? Herda. I know what you're worried about. You're concerned about those 2 models of yours. Let me be frank with you. Those people admire your talent. Without those 2 models, they still want you to work for them at headquarters. Stop looking so devastated. You're still young with a long road ahead of you. You have plenty of chances to create something even more valuable in the future. It's about the shadow of the corrupted swarm, stirring in the dust of cloud not far away. The words they left behind sent sharp pain shooting through the lower leg. Like flesh and crawling bodies, someone just trying to transport back to that day many years ago. One, two, three, then thousands upon thousands. All claws dragging her back into the lightless hell. Since
frozen in place like a puppet with its strings cut. Snap out of it and get in the vehicle! The corruptor will be here any moment. Her screeching sound interrupts her thoughts as a massive black armored vehicle pulls up. It swings open, revealing a passenger compartment bristling with weapons. She gets on board. She can't truly survive and escape her nightmares. What about V? What about the Chosen One? Herda? How about all of that? The other executives are waiting for you at headquarters. They've already assigned you a new laboratory with new cats and a dedicated flower garden for your horticultural research. What are the survival odds now? 10%? Even less? The devastating ruins, perhaps it's time to accept reality. Despair. Overwhelming despair. Those are mainly unnecessary emotions. Think irrationally, tomorrow she'll meet with new colleagues at headquarters, develop new models, and have access to more computing power in a far more comfortable environment. About V. You already knows the answer, so isn't it time to leave? This woman's frozen in fear. You lot, carry her now! Something slips from her grasp, tumbling to the ground, further away. The white box. His birthday gift. He's waiting for her to deliver the gift. Waiting to play with her. Huh? She shows past the soldier blocking her way and stumbles forward to snatch the white box. Charges in frenzy. There's the realm of corrupted, sprints through a narrow corner. Shrieks the corrupted, the wailing of crowds, everything. It's exactly like the past. Why did I escape all those years ago only to return now? Back to this inferno of utter devastation. Foolish you are, Yui. So all that research and knowledge taught you nothing. So I want, but I don't. I never learned how to be smart. Some things should never be abandoned. Here we go, the final part. Let's do this. Today is V's birthday. It's a day for wishes to come true. A day filled with surprises. Today Yui will buy V a birthday gift. So give V a beautiful name. If only every day could be a birthday. That way Yui could stop working all the time and play more with V. So V must be good, mustn't get into mischief or cause any trouble for Yui. Why hasn't Yui returned yet? Able to wait any longer, V sneaks out of the laboratory. The hallway stretches out completely empty. A single person in sight. So boring. To sheer boredom, V can't resist playing with the hallway lights once again. Suddenly the lights go dark. Can't see anything. What's happening? Is Yui back? Is this a surprise Yui prepared for V? We can no longer control the lights, but can still hear sounds from outside. Then a continuous supply of computing power is cut off as well. Half an hour, hour and a half. So dark and frightening. He doesn't want to have a birthday anymore. Look, it's just fine. Not having a name is fine too. Get data sets is fine too. So if you really try to grow up and make Yui see V in a new light. This time V will definitely be good. V. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Are you feeling alright? I'm okay, but I just suddenly can't see anything. Is this a surprise Yui prepared for me? Yui, please don't be angry. I shouldn't have turned off the hallway lights. Oh, my bad, Rockfist. I won't. I won't ever cause trouble again. Yes, it's a surprise for you. Unexpectedly, Yui's gentle laughter fills the air. Usually she would be angry. It's because of my birthday. I found a white box at the media store that will let humans play with you. Voice sounds hoarse. Is Yui sick? I feel Yui lifting me up. Where are we going? We're going on a little trip far away. Puts 2 capsules into her bag and shoulders it. Stokers lift the fire axe and swings it at a metal grate. The impact numbs her wrist, causing her small wounds to split open inch by inch. First, there's only a slight breeze and terrifyingly cold air currents. Ventilation shafts in the matrix. Oh, is she trying to get to the core again? Or to the Matrix? Before the Corruptors attack, she had no choice but to retreat into this cramped space, battered into shell. She crawls toward the central hub, sticking blood seeping from her body and dripping onto the tunnel floor. The pendulum of light growing ever slower and heavier. Dragging her severely wounded body to safety along the way, Yui's own strength begins to give out. 20,000 square meters. Now before, she so despised the sheer enormity of this matrix. She's also never been so grateful for how deep the laboratory is situated. Its access-controlled doors that once imprisoned her have ironically become barriers protecting them today. She's broken through the Corrupted's blockade to reach them. Her bodies are patched with wounds. Most of the Matrix is overrun with the virus, which continues to encroach deeper into the facility. Unawakened mechanical consciousness cannot resist the punishing virus's invasion. Not to mention the terrifyingly high concentration of punishing virus nearby. The Corrupted constantly prowling around. Only the Matrix's core offers a thread of hope for survival. Finally made it. She puts to prop herself up. RB accelerates rapidly. Is her body trying to increase her heart rate to maintain blood flow? Greetings to the human named Yui DeLevy, and to the mechanical consciousness models known as Chosen 1 and V. It's the Matrix's administrative AI. She disables V's audio reception module before beginning your conversation. I want to ask you to protect V. Target deemed unachievable. The punishing infection spreads from the outside in. The system can only slow the invasion rate through contaminant protocols. It cannot prevent the core's inevitable fall. Even with punishing specialized firewalls activated and all physical channels sealed, approximately 18 hours remain before a total infection. Is it possible for you to assume training functions, allowing V to awake prematurely and develop a resistance? Probability approximately 0%. Give me precision at 5 decimal places. 0.00033. Tell me the solution. The system has a simulation protocol to accelerate model training, codenamed Derivation. Describing visual scenario language, the training consists of an endlessly repeating apocalypse. The mechanical consciousness continuously evolves. Inside an apocalypse? To force the models grow for harsh training environment is necessary. Simulated scenarios include, but are not limited to, world collapse and red tide invasions. Oh, that's even... Wait, that's even crazier than what Horse did. Red tide? How would I have that information? Consider having a human consciousness accompany the training process. Probability is increased to 0.31058. Entity known as Yui DeLevy. Do you require a neural interface connection to train alongside your V? No. I'm afraid I'm already out of time. Instinctively, she clutches her abdomen, harvesting the blood soaked in her hands. As her finger presses it down, never realized until now that the simple act of typing commands requires deliberate control from the brain. It seeds from her arm, trickling down the stain red console crimson. Fingertips stick to the keys, requiring a seemingly monumental effort to peel them off. Yes. Must control my trembling lips. I can't let V worry. One last time, I'll speak softly. Even the mundane conversations now feel... She can't help... Even these mundane conversations now feel incredibly precious to her. She can't help but feel profound regret. We surely are greedy creatures. If she'd known this day would come, why didn't she spend more time with V? So happy today. You spent a whole hour with me. Birthdays really are the best. V loves birthdays. Who knows things are emotion? Just 1 hour was enough to make V so happy. As she was by V's side, she spent all her time obsessing over code and parameters. She repeatedly claimed it was for V's growth, but in truth, she's just afraid someone would take the fragile V away from her again. For such a selfish reason, she couldn't even spare 10 minutes a day to simply talk with V. I don't know what you're thinking, but you said it yourself. V is still too young. And you know how kids get scared of being alone. Those words echo in her ears once more. I'm so sorry.
I can stay with you a little longer, but then I have to get back to work. Alright.
He looks a little disappointed but responds obediently.
But what about your promise to play with me in the white box? I was just about to open it.
Ah, this is what's kept you the white box. Wait till now is not the white box, much as any place of comfort and joy. Matrix training codenamed Derivation exists as a trial of endlessly repeating apocalyptic scenarios. This was a necessary measure to ensure V's survival against the punishing virus corruption. Oh, so it was supposed to be like the final test for her, once she had matured. What exactly does this apocalypse look like within the training simulation? Visible hands suddenly squeeze her heart.
A stability program that simulates neural signals from the host system to provide shelter for V during the apocalypse. Deemed an irrational decision. Given that awakening is the primary objective, the system will not add such functionality. Shelter would deprive the model of experiencing hardship, slowing the pace of its growth and awakening. V should have the right to choose. Even if she can't pass the trial, she should at least have a place to rest peacefully. Unable to comprehend. There's nothing special about it. I just don't want her to suffer. Is that too much? Haven of tenderness. V, will you be okay playing by yourself in the white box? Will I be alone now? If possible, the Chosen One will be there to keep you company. Chosen One? I saved the world together with the Chosen One? But the Chosen One's been asleep for a very, very long time, right? Will they wake up today? It's very likely. After all, today is... I know, it's my birthday.
She gently strokes V's capsule, that she feels sliced through her heart like a warm dull blade.
Can you come too? I need to go on a business trip to a place very, very far away.
A lie. Typical to the note her mother left when she abandoned their home years ago.
I don't want you to go on a business trip. I don't want to play anymore.
Starting to explore again.
It won't take too long. By the time you finish playing White Box, I'll be back. And when you have free time again, you have to play with me. Pinky promise. Of course. We'll have plenty of time together. We'll spend today, tomorrow, and many, many birthdays together, won't we?
Is it from losing too much blood? Guilt from deceiving her with false promises? You would take shallow but rapid breaths, oxygen to the cracked brain tumbling in a fog, life slowly ebbing away. But V is still young. She has the right to live on. Just one more person to keep her company. Those chances would increase significantly. The Chosen One connected to this matrix? It's probably impossible. Why would anyone connect to a matrix for a completely unrelated mechanical consciousness that's not even human? How pathetic. For a scientist to pin her hopes on something so improbable. If there's any chance of bringing V close to awakening, no matter how small, Yui has to try. Opening a connection port for the Chosen One within a completely sealed firewall. What would normally be a simple command now feels like it's drained half of her remaining lifespan, causing her to collapse to the floor. Consciousness drifts and scenes from the past easily materialize. V, do you know? I hate my parents. Of all the people in this world, my parents are certainly the ones I hate most. Between those two people, I hate my mother more. I hate her for abandoning me with the alcoholic man when I was little. I hate her for leaving my life in complete shambles. I hate her for taking me back into her arms when we met again. I hate her for abandoning me once more after she used me. I survived studying and researching day and night without rest. I thought I wouldn't be as weak as I was back then. I thought I finally escaped her shadow. Humans are always so weak. Night after night, I found myself back at that harbor, watching my mother leave. A long blast of the ship's horn echoes in my ears. So the sea crashes over me and the massive vessel carrying her slowly sails away before my eyes. I stand bewildered, waiting second after second. And every moment I prayed that she'd turn around. That she would rush back to me without hesitation and hold me tight like she used to. I'd lie in her arms, breathing the lavender scent of her coat, drift into a deep, peaceful sleep. But that will never happen. The massive ship sailed into the open sea and she never looked back. His body has long since become an empty shell. My soul shattered at that harbor where I was left behind. I thought knowledge and intellect would fill me up, but no matter how much I absorb, I still feel so empty inside. At that moment when I held you in my arms, I saw my shattered past slowly piece itself back together. V, you're an experimental product, a research outcome, mechanical consciousness generated from my template. So strange. You don't follow orders, you're mischievous and naughty, cause me trouble all day long. You're so cute. Even though you're just a mechanical consciousness, you're warmer than anything I've ever known. My teacher was right after all. Humans are both cursed and blessed by love. Creatures who simply cannot survive without it. It's the magic that keeps us alive. I'll never be loved or hugged by her again. But I can still embrace you, V. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. If only I could. How I wish I could continue this journey with you. I haven't probably heard you speak. I haven't probably played with you. I haven't grown up with you. I haven't had the chance to see what you look like in the real world. I haven't probably celebrated your birthday with you. I haven't probably given you a gift. I haven't even probably given you a name. Hold you in my arms, and yet I'll leave you behind. In the end, I'm just as irresponsible as that woman I called mother. Even so, I selfishly want you to live on. Never being gods, or I never believed in gods because their love is fickle. I'm so greedy, I have no faith, but I want the heavens to show pity on me. Please, I beg you, hear this final wish of a body's disciple. Possible, please let someone gentler than me, take my place beside V, to accompany V as she grows. Je t'aime, V. Oh. I love you, my child. I hope you're born from love. She placed the 2 capsules in the matrix. Bodies grow weary, eyelids slowly closing. Light, a warm feeling. You heard my prayer? Feels like a mother's embrace she's never felt, granting her consciousness in its warmth. The world is ending. How many times this happened since she first formed memories? Rocks crash down, suddenly from the doomed ceiling as the ground beneath gives way in an instant. She can tap into her own computing power to rewrite the main system from within. What's difference gonna make? The world will briefly return to normal, only to march toward extinction once more. As the pendulum swung back, the cycle would just repeat itself. Snow silver sunlight feels inexplicably warm today. But within the collapsing rays of light, a human figure slowly materializes. Are you also a monster? Here to kill me? This world torn asunder, the figure beholds a bewildered, helpless young girl. I'm not a monster. I'm the chosen one. Chosen one? Mulls over this title, small ripples stirring within her otherwise apathetic eyes. What's your name? Chatem V. Someone very important told me this, but I seem to have forgotten. Genevieve? Genevieve. Yes, Genevieve. I like that name. Hello, Genevieve. Hello, Chosen One. Seems delighted to have found a companion. A hint of color gradually emerges in her previously numb expression. Genevieve, let's escape together. But I've already tried. No matter what method I used, escape was impossible. The destruction of this world would simply enter the next cycle reincarnation. Together, two of us might just create a miracle. Huh? The girl is momentarily stunned. She hesitates briefly to finally grasp your hand in return. Yes. Let's escape together, Chosen One. Damn. You guys could probably tell, but yeah, my voice was quivering. I'm actually like tearing up right now. I was holding it back for so long, but fuck me. I'll never forget you, Yui the Levy. A salute to another fallen hero. An unnamed hero. Damn. Dude, this story is just so damn amazing. This game is just... It's a different level of storytelling. Because again, it's like she's not even like a construct or anything, but Yui the Levy's life, her choices and everything, they really tug at your heartstrings. It literally felt like a drama. Shit. But there we go. We learn the reason for her name. Je t'aime vie. Genevieve. And I hope I'm pronouncing that French right. I could be wrong, because I never actually took French, but... Damn, what a story. And I'm glad Horse is gone. That dude deserved the ending he got. Fuck that dude. I hate him. And that's the other thing, it's like, this story is like, even they try to make you feel bad for him, like, with learning about his childhood, it's like, he was a dick. He wasn't only like, if he was just mean to machines and mechanoids, that'd be one thing, but like, to these people, who are also supposed to be people who are like, just trying to survive like him, it's like, what the fuck, man? This sad music too, man. It hurts. But it was a beautiful story of how someone who didn't understand the concept of love ended up becoming the person to bestow love upon someone else. And creating that spark of hope being Genevieve. And now we know, right? Like, why Horst was, why he really wanted to get rid of Martha and the school, because maybe he had figured later on that Genevieve was the thing he needed and such, and he couldn't really get his hands on her. And like on the Chosen One, because he needed everything, like the Matrix, the both of them, they would have catapulted his career. And maybe that's also why he also wanted against, like, to let Martha suffer, right? Because she was like a mother to Yui. So it's like, maybe it'd be his way of getting revenge. Especially since she still Yui still could have potentially been his ticket out, but she chose what was more important, her family. It's like, that hurts, man. It really does. Now understanding why Yui also, Genevieve felt so attached to the other girls at the school as well, because it's like, they're kind of like her in a way. It's like she still kind of had like those like childish moments as well, which really makes sense to her character now. And finally understanding the whole thing of the Chosen One, really good. But again, now comes the question, what will this lead to now? And what do we have next in store for the Leibowitz Company? Because it's not like they turned down this project and created this whole massacre. If it was something like that, then sure, but it's like, what are they gonna do now that they're out in the light now? Or at least in Babylonia's radar. Will they like try to confront them directly, or do they still not know and like they're just like gonna be doing more stuff behind the scenes, kind of like what Kurino usually does? I'll be interested to see how that goes, but at least Genevieve now finally has someone she can walk alongside in this new life, you know? Like just another version of Yui the Levy getting a new chance at life. Even if it is like her daughter instead, but still. At least there's a different way that she gets to view the world now.
alongside the command. Fuck me, man. That story was intense. I'm gonna admit it. I'm still trying to hold back my tears. Alright, with that, we are now all caught up with the character story stuff for Selena, for Vera, and for Genevieve. And all of them were bangers. So emotional, so amazing, such character growth and development. And all these little details as well, just icing on the cake for like getting a complete understanding of the events that led to their current situation. It is really amazing. But it's gonna be the... Now, I can just relax with Punishing Grey Raven until we get the collab with DMC5, only happening in a couple days. So y'all know I'm definitely gonna be streaming that. I'll have to see if on Saturday I'll be available to do a stream for that, because I don't know if I have plans on that day or not. I'm still kind of like pondering about that. Because if I do, I won't have to schedule stream on Saturday. And either I'll have to do that stream another day, or if I actually won't have plans that day and I'll just do it then. I don't know. I'll have to see how my schedule's gonna be. But I will try my best to do the Punishing Grey Raven stream on the day that it releases for the DMC5 patch. It's gonna be awesome. You guys are gonna be here for it. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. But damn, I just have a whole new respect for Genevieve. It's like, at first I thought she was just gonna be some mischievous, like, construct like Vera, but it's like, it goes way deeper than that. Where is she? Yeah, here she is. Wow. Crazy how that all settled in the end, but it was a very, very touching story. I hope you guys did enjoy it as I did. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy the stream and already following the channel, please make sure to leave a follow. Much appreciated. Check out my YouTube channel where I post a lot of vlogs. Subscribe as well. Enjoy Discord, you guys know already. Links to all those are on the channel. We still will have the East 9 Monster Knox stream tomorrow, so we still got that to look forward to. And again, I'm sorry for not doing the Honkai Impact 3rd stream this week. I really did intend to, but things just happened and I was just like, I don't know, I just wanted to relax a couple days, so just ended up like that. But I will try to definitely at least do one stream this week for that. Again, I'll try to do it. Hopefully I can, since now I don't have to try to like catch up for Punishing Grey Raven until the new update, but we'll see exactly how that goes. But anyway, this has been Santos Vice. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys next time.